you the director of the 5W Midwest Showdown? Can I ask you a few questions? What is going to be the thing that people remember most about this meet?
The one thing that I want people to remember about this meet is that it felt like it was the Midwest Premier Powerlifting meet, something that we can host once a year to showcase the depth of talent in this region. From high-level production to head-to-head matchups and an elevated experience for the athletes and spectators where every single little detail makes the athlete feel more valued and the spectators feel more engaged. Most importantly, we want to give back. Give out real cash prizes for top universities and outstanding lifters by reinvesting into the people and the community that help us build this sport.
Why does this meet mean so much to you?
This meet means a lot to me because I'm one of those lifters who never qualified for nationals, let alone get invited to compete at a bigger stage hosted by major powerlifting brands. I know how it feels to train just as hard, care just as much, and still never get the opportunity. I want to use this meet as an opportunity to create that platform where lifters can showcase their talent and be able to put themselves on the radar for future opportunities such as sponsorship and accessing a bigger stage.
What do you think this meet is going to say to the rest of the powerlifting world?
I hope that with this meet, we can show people that even if you're not the biggest name in the sport, you can still create something that is meaningful and impactful. Our goal since day one has always been to create the best meet possible within our means for the athletes, spectators, and people watching from home. We're committed to learning, improving, and raising the standard of what the powerlifting meet should look like. Whether you're competing, handling, spectating, or thinking about stepping on a platform next year, we're excited to welcome you into what we're building.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back. I hope everyone enjoyed that morning session. We are back for the prime time session of our Midwest Open Showdown.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this session. I mean, we have had a jam-packed weekend full of lifting. I mean, this is day 2, session 2. So this is the very last session of the day. We had our collegiate showdown yesterday, which spanned, I mean, just lifters from all over the Midwest. We had two full sessions full of that. So that was a very exciting to see. But now we have our open primetime session. So these are going to showcase some of the best lifters across the entire Midwest. I mean, we have, just looking at these totals and forecasted placings off of the openers, I mean, we are in for a show. We had three flights competing earlier today, but I mean, here we have 2. So what do we got here on screen?
This is Sarah Mercer over here. She is coming in very highly nominated with her previous GL points. You know, her training has been going very well recently. She's trying to, potentially graduate out of that 52 kilo class. And I think just especially that has been setting her training like there is no limit to her, it seems like right now.
Yeah, she just competed at the 5W Summer Classic earlier this summer in August, and she put up an amazing total. She was able to squat 145, bench 95, and deadlift 190 kilos, albeit that was done in the 52 kilo class. So since then, she has actually moved up a weight class and is competing in the 57 class, weighing a little bit light, but in the 53 range. So she has put on some size and some strength. So her training has been phenomenal. She's been squatting upwards to 160, benching over 100 kilos, and she's been deadlifting over 200 kilos. So that's in and of itself some amazing progress just over the course of about half a year.
And, I think all of those numbers that you listed out, she hit at that meet. I think I've seen her rep every single one of those lifts.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, she's not the only one in contention for the top placing. I mean, we have Omar, we have RJ, we have a lot of people who here are really trying to not only make a name for themselves on this stage, but really kind of make some noise knocking on the people's door for the people who are winning nationals and possibly representing Team USA. We have Joey Ho right there, who just took one of his warm-ups, 170 kilos. He's one of the lifters that has been competing for many, many years. So we have a lot of veterans in this sport.
You know, we have quite a few people. People are coming in with their nominated tools, but there's also some people who, you know, maybe their training has been going so much better than what they came nominated in with. So the placings that we've been seeing as our nominated battles, I think we're going to have quite a few disruptions in there from some of these lifters.
And before the competition actually begins, if you want to take a look at what these lifters have in store for their opening attempts, be sure to go to liftingcast.com/meets and scroll and click to Powerlifting America 5W Midwest Open Showdown Day 2, where you'll be able to see the lifting cast data of the order of lifting, the attempts, and the forecasted placings. We have it on screen here, and it's going to be really nice to follow along on lifting cast and on the live stream.
All right, and Kevin, you want to talk about what were some of those lifts that we were seeing in this morning's session?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'd like to highlight is, although this is a primetime session and it's showcasing some of the stronger lifters that are competing throughout this entire competition, we had some breakout performances in the earlier session. And albeit we're going to have some lifters who lifted in the earlier session also be in contention for those top spots. I mean, they didn't come in nominated with the highest total, but like Katie said, some of these lifters have made some incredible progress meet after meet. So they have demonstrated that progress here. And I mean, it's not a shoo-in for all of these primetime lifters to take those top spots. So they have their work cut out for them. Again, it's really exciting to be here today. We have a full crowd here. We have itinerary full of like our spotters and loaders, referees, a full roster, just people, fans who have come from all over the Midwest to come and spectate this show. I mean, from the coaching staff, friends and family, it's a full house here today.
You know, we're really still riding off some of that energy from last night. The collegiate session was amazing to watch and to commentate for as well. You know, we saw some of these lifters moving into that #1 best overall lifter spot with their last pull. We saw team placings flipping back and forth until the very end. And this is truly a meet that is comparable to, you know, collegiate nationals, university nationals. And it's really cool seeing these lifters knowing that this is going to be a lot of their qualifying meets to go to university or open nationals in the future. And I'm so looking forward to seeing not only how they perform today, but how they're going to perform at their selected open.
Absolutely. And I'm going to throw it out here where if we compare the lifters who competed in the primetime session for the collegiate session and the lifters competing in this session, I'm pretty sure there's going to be collegiate lifters who are right in that mix with the top spots compared to all these open lifters. So to be already in contention for the open spots as a collegiate lifter just kind of goes to show the level of talent that the Midwest collegiate scene is building up. But not only that, but what we've showcased at this competition in and of its own in one weekend.
I definitely agree. And I do want to go ahead and point out, when we look at the forecasted IPF points, just based on these lifters' opening attempts. So if they make their opening attempts based on their body weight, we already have 2 lifters well over the 100 GL point barrier. We have Sarah Mercer with her opening attempt GL points is already at 106.8, and Omar with his openers are at 104.38.
Yeah, and we have a few lifters who are just shy of the 100 GL point mark. I mean, here in the openers, we have Michael Siran with a 97.995 forecasted IPF points. We have Ryan Jordan with 98.7. We have Nicolette Ziegler with 97.7, and then finally we have we have quite a few lifters who are all in that 90 mark. I mean, we have Patrick Owens coming in with 93. So, like we said, we do have Sarah Mercer and Omar above the 100 GL point mark, but that does not make them a shoo-in for that top placing. If these lifters who are trailing behind make attempts and are consistent in executing, they can sneak into those top spots, and that's what we like to see in these primetime sessions.
Yeah, and you know, in that morning session today, we had a lot of men, but we had one female lifter, Brooke Caldwell. She finished out with an 8 for 9 day at 79.09 IPF points. And currently she's sitting above some of the women with their opening attempts in there. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out and if she's able to defend any sort of positioning when she's competed before any of these lifters have even touched the weight.
And I just kind of want to highlight some of the lifters also in the morning session. I mean, we had Keegan, who earlier today, who put up a performance of 85 GL score, and then we also had Christian Favela in that flight C putting up 82.405. So I mean, these lifters are competing in the earlier session, but have made incredible progress and are kind of riding within those top placements when comparing them to the primetime lifters. And so today's format is going to be a little bit quicker than we saw for any of our other sessions. For this primetime session, we only have 2 flights of lifters. So these lifters are going to have to go back to back. Flight A will take their 3 rounds of squats. Then we will follow along with Flight B, take a 10-minute intermission, go on with bench press. Flight A will do their 3 rounds of bench. Then we'll follow on to Flight B, another 10-minute intermission, and then we'll finish out the session with the deadlift. So unlike the other sessions where these lifters had a little bit more break and rest time to be able to recomp and energize, these lifters are going to be in for a faster paced meet.
Yes, and even though these lifters are all battling for the best overall open male and female and best overall open lifter, I do want to point out some of the best lifters from yesterday's session. We had Ellie Weinstein walked away with 104.7 GL points, and Brayden Molinelli walked away with 107.04. Sorry, I do apologize. These are age points as he was a junior, but we have some very high scoring GL points from these 2 best overall male and female collegiate lifters that they could potentially, hold a placing to these open lifters if they were to be considered in that. And it's just really cool to think about that these collegiate lifters are really holding their own in potentially an open session of the same meet.
And for those of you who are new to powerlifting and are watching this stream and are wondering what is GL points, let's break it down a little bit about how these points are calculated and what it actually means when it comes to the best overall position.
Yeah, so GL points, when you're thinking of powerlifting, one of the easiest ways to compare yourself to other lifters is looking at people that are simply in your own weight class, comparing who has the biggest squat, bench, deadlift, and then you add them all together to get your total. But then in a meet like this where, you're not just in your weight class, you want to look at the best overall lifter. We can take the weight that people weigh in at and their total, throw those into a calculator together. There's a couple different formulas that we can use, but today we are looking at the IPF good lift points, and we can get a score that we can then compare these other lifters to each other with. And kind of to put it in perspective, if you were to think of an elite level powerlifter, like a true elite powerlifter, we want to say that their GL score is kind of around 100 ideally. And so if you look at some of these lifters and they're scoring at 100 or above, we're saying that these are the elite of the elite powerlifters here today with us.
I mean, I'm going to kind of throw it out there that I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least a few lifters here who are going to be possibly representing Team USA a few years down the road, if not this year, this competition season. I mean, I'd like to highlight one of our younger lifters, Noah Pilley, who is a raw junior. He's competing in the 66 kilo division, and as a junior, he's already placed or forecasted with a 92.343 IPF good lift points. So that is pretty remarkable. I mean, when you think about it in dots, that's about a 460, 470 dots range. So that's amazing in and of its own to be opening with a weight that high.
And, even besides that, there are a couple lifters here in the open session that, when your openers are scoring above 100 GL points and your lifts are getting so close to pushing that barrier of potential, not only American, but world records, you could think that some of our top lifters today we could eventually be seeing on that international stage someday.
Yeah, I mean, all this talking about this session is getting me really excited for this meet. I mean, we're just a few minutes away from actually starting the session. We're going to kick off with Flight A, and we have a few women in this flight, followed up by 4 men in this flight, and then Flight B will be all of our remaining men in this session. We see our first lifter on screen there, Nicole Arias, and the bar is now loaded for her, so she is going to have 60 seconds to receive that squat command, and we see her getting ready, putting on her wrist wraps. And let's get this primetime session underway.
And as Kevin said, bar is loaded for her. She's opening us out at 137.5, which when you think about it, we're already setting the bar so high at a 300-pound squat. This is 303 pounds, so we will only be seeing 300 and more pound squats for these ladies here today. And you know, when you are in these primetime sessions, you have to already be that good of a lifter to qualify and get here. And so hopefully we see some very well executed lifts today. You know, these people, they're experienced. They know how to follow commands. They know how to squat to depth. It's just a matter of executing, choosing that right weight, and hopefully we see a whole lot of green on that platform today.
We see that energy from Cassandra Posada, one of MPG's locals here, opening us up with 140 kilos, 308 pounds. She has been here, she is used to this, and she is in prime time.
You can tell some of these lifters are here having fun. She's smiling as she's setting up that squat. Controlled into the bottom, but smooth and steady out of that hole. She gets 2-to-1 good lift, 1 blue card, potentially for some, you know, maybe not fully locked out knees, but does not matter. 2 white lights is a good lift for her.
Up next, we have our lifter, Lakiana Jones, also taking 140 kilos as her opening attempt. And for those of you watching from home, let us know in the comment section and the chat who you guys are supporting, where you guys are watching from, and we would just want to hear you guys and shout out any lifters that you guys want to see here competing.
You know, I really love seeing lifters being able to show their personality on the platform, rep their favorite brands, favorite colors, style their hair how they want. Really shows how people are able to express themselves while on a platform competing like this. Now, up next, Sarah Mercer. Her best squat from August is 145, and she is opening with that today. Can only imagine what her ceiling is at today. We'll see how this moves.
And again, she is registered in the 57 kilo weight class, but her official body weight this afternoon was 53.35. So she is just barely over the 52 class, lifting against 57 kilo competitors.
That does not look like a meet PR for her. I think she has a lot more in the tank today.
Really excited to see where these lifters go. And again, I think we're starting to see the experience show out with, just the green, the execution, and just the calm and composure from these lifters. Everybody's listening to their commands. Everybody's technically proficient. And honestly, it's really, really nice to just see the execution on these squats.
Now, Tova is one of our junior lifters here today. Once again, it is always incredible to see a junior lifter in an open primetime session like this. Another very nice opener from her.
And for our final opener on the women's side, we have Nicolette Ziegler taking us all the way up to 190 kilos. So we are well past the 400-pound mark. And if you take a close look to her singlet, she is wearing a Team USA singlet, meaning that she has represented the United States in international competition. That is the only way you can acquire those singlets. And she is wearing one today, meaning that we have world-level competitors competing here at the 5W Midwest Open Showdown.
And she is already one of our better female lifters with her nominated opening attempts. Her IPF good lift points would be 97.7. It's again just shy of that 100 points. And I'm thinking with how well that opening attempt moved, once we get a second attempt in there, we're already going to be pushing that 100 GL lift barrier.
We got
All right.
Q coming up next. He is actually coach and part of the 5W community. I got a chance to meet him earlier, and he's made some incredible progress, opening us up with 195 kilos, weighing in at only 64 kilos body weight.
All right, he gets that start command on that squat. Looks like a good attempt from him. All 3 white lights on that 195 kilo opener. We are making our way through the men's opening attempts in this flight now. Up after him is Joey Ho, opening up at 207.5. Already into that 200 kilo squat area. Just our openers. Not to mention that this is our 66 kilo lifter. It's like a good attempt from him. All 3 white lights from the ref. We are on a very good streak right now. All good squat attempts, no questions on depth from anybody here so far. This is exactly what Kevin and I were talking about. Once you get to this high level, everyone knows exactly what they're doing and how to execute these numbers.
And the mindset sort of shifts from once you're a higher level competitor. I mean, you're not thinking about building the total or chasing this early on in the competition. Really, right now is getting yourself on the board and setting yourself up to then take those attempts and build the total. Right now, you're not chasing. And I mean, by just looking at Jerry with his execution on the 215, I mean, these guys are really just here to get themselves on the board and then take those attempts later down the road. So very good attempt there for Jerry. 3 white lights.
All right. Noah is closing out the flight with a 220 kilo opener.
Not only is he closing out the flight, but he's also the youngest competitor in this session and also from this flight. So to be the last one lifting and also the youngest one and the second to lightest one from the men's side, I mean, that's pretty incredible.
I don't know, even though he is a junior, he is on the very end of what is considered junior, only 19 years old, just recently aging into that class. He has a long way to go to build himself as a junior.
He recently competed at high school nationals last year and was awarded the national championship there and the best lifter award.
You know, if you're doing that as a sub-junior at high school nationals, you can only imagine what is in store for him as he grows as a junior. All right, we are back up to the top with second attempts. Nicole is starting us off with 145. So again, everyone got a squat on the board. That is such a relief. Can all, you know, release that breath that we're kind of holding. Everyone has a squat on the board so far.
I mean, it really is exciting when everyone hits and you can only worry about everyone executing at their very best.
You know, a little bit of a fight there, but once again, still very strong squat. Doesn't look like she struggled too much, just steady moving on.
And then usually the second attempt is what you're going to gauge as far as what you have in the left in the tank for your third. I mean, right now you're not thinking about executing to your all-time max, right? Here you're really about building that total and then trying to see where is it going to land you for the third attempt.
All right, Cassandra taking 147.5 for her second attempt. Once again, these lifters, they know exactly how their body feels. They know what their limit is based on that second attempt. You know, once you get to this higher level, I'm expecting to see a lot of green throughout this entire squat session. You know, they are so good. They're so in tune with their coach about selecting that third squat to get as much as they can towards the total.
Blackiana Jones coming up next, taking a 10-kilo jump, 150 kilos, 331 pounds. Again, showing some signs of struggle, but not fully top end. She gets 3 white lights, so we'll be excited to see what she puts in for her third attempt.
You know, even though we say there's a little bit of a struggle, it's honestly how a second attempt should move. It should be heavy. It should be a somewhat heavy, difficult squat for you. And then that third squat should usually be, you know, that limit for you. So they need a little bit of weight to gauge what they have today. Sarah Mercer walking out to 152.5. Once again, she matched her squat meet best on her opener and is now adding another 7.5 to that here. You know, in training, she's been pushing into that 160 kilo area. And I think depending on how this moves, she's, oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Sarah
She is
Mercer.
getting into the 160s today after that. No question about it. 3 white lights.
Yeah, I mean, in training, she's been putting up, yeah, like Katie said, over 160. And I think that might be the call for today, right? Either 157.5 or 160, but expect to see a great squat from Sarah.
Right, and now we do have 160 on the bar for Tova, going up 10 kilos from that opening attempt. Clean second attempt from her, 3 white lights. Now Nicolette, as I said, her second attempt is pushing her right over that 100 good lift points barrier. If she gets this, she will move up to 100.58. 205 kilos on the bar for her right now. You know, I think it's always interesting to see the different belts that a lot of lifters opt to use. And it looks like she's using, you know, one of the smaller ones. And she's an incredible squatter. So whatever works for each athlete is what is best for them.
She hits that very convincingly, and let's see what the referees say. Yeah, 3 white lights. And I think that's just one of the other things about lifting with higher caliber lifters is you kind of already know what to expect, right? You know these lifters are going to hit depth. You know these lifters are experienced on the platform, so there really isn't going to be any technical issues. So, I mean, it really is until we get to the third attempts where these athletes truly push themselves to that upper limit.
Right, and all of the women have gotten their second attempts on the board, so we're now on to the men. Q is starting us off with 205 kilos for his second attempt. He is repping that 5W shirt. Huge shout out, you know, Waylon pours so much effort into these meets, and you can really see it through the production quality of this. And 205 is a good lift for him.
We got some Joey Ho fans in the chat as well. We see Joey Ho is coming for it all from one of the commentators, commenters here. But yeah, Joey Ho lifting in the 66 kilo class, already squatting 220 kilos.
And a nice shot of his coach, Pat Horvath, there. Very nice second attempt.
2-1, a good lift. He gets 1 red light on the side for depth. And just to kind of put it in perspective, Joey Ho just executed a 3.3 times bodyweight squat.
227.5 is on the bar now for Jerry. You know, a little bit of a fight there, but he gets through it.
Convincing 3 white lights.
And now closing us out again is Noah, the junior 66 kilo lifter with 230 kilos as his second attempt.
And if you looked on screen, his previous competition best is 227.5. So already on the second attempt, he is breaking PRs. And we see Isaiah Carrington, our MC, dancing there on screen. Wow, that is an easy squat there for Noah.
2-1 is a good lift for him, and we are already into third squat attempts. 155 kilos for Nicole for her third attempt. You know, it's interesting to look at her attempt choices. She made only a 7.5 jump up to her second and then opted for an even larger jump up to her third. So I think that's a sign that she knows her squat is feeling strong today.
Yeah, maybe there was slight execution thing that she kind of dialed in as she moved into her third attempt, but we hear the crowd behind her. Nicole Arias, 155 kilos.
Come on.
And she fights through it. And Nicole Arias achieves a 3 white lights and a competition best. She has actually taken a hiatus from powerlifting. It's been over a year and a half since she last competed back in June of 2024. So she is back on the platform and smoking PRs.
All right, looks like we had a little bit of confusion with the lot numbers orders since Lakiana and Cassandra are both squatting 155. Lakiana is actually... All right, Lakiana is up, taking 157.5 for her third attempt. Her 150 moved well enough to make that 7.5 jump. Come on. Oh.
Just a little bit too much for her on the day. That would have been a 2.5 kilo PR for Lakiana, but she also walks away with 150 kilos under her belt. So now we got Cassandra Posada also taking the same weight, 157.5.
Right, bar is loaded for Cassandra. This
Again,
is matching her best squat.
Similar strategy to Nicole, taking a 7.5 kilo jump, followed by a 10.
So again, these ladies both need to put up aggressive numbers, but they can't miss attempts.
And Cassandra fights through that lift.
Slowly but surely, she locked that out, and 2 white lights.
A good lift.
That might be one of the best grinds we're going to see on squat today. But up next is Sarah Mercer. 160 kilos is loaded for her. She is someone to be afraid of, not only as a 52, but as a 57 now.
Again, she has shown that she can compete at the elite level in both weight classes. So it really is up to her in which direction she takes that. 160 on the bar, 352. Sarah Mercer.
Oh, yeah.
Give her 3
she
reds.
Had more. But this third squat, not only locked in 3 for 3 lifts, she is already at a forecasted 110 GL points.
Wow. And by the way, I meant 3 red plates, not 3 red lights. That was a beautifully executed lift. So don't start hating in the comments.
3 reds. All right, Tova, 170 kilos on the bar. This is actually 3 reds here.
Yep.
But hopefully she sees those 3 whites.
Very consistent, just 10 kilo jumps per attempt. So again, just building the pathway for a huge total.
And she pushes through it.
And unfortunately, 2-1, no live. She got called from the center referee and the left referee on depth. And let's just talk a little bit more about depth, as we haven't explained that yet. What depth is your hip crease has to go below the top surface of the knee. So all 3 referees are checking to ensure our lifters are squatting to that standard. And I mean, that standard is being held here in this competition.
All right. We are now through all of our women's squat attempts. Hugh is starting off these 3rd attempts for men with 212.5.
Three white lights for Q there, going 3 for 3 in the squats. Nicolette Ziegler, who is opting to go up 10 kilos, 215 on the bar.
I do apologize. I misspoke. Nicolette is out squatting some of these guys with 215 for her 3rd attempt.
I mean, 475 pounds. I mean, just look at her singlet. She's been representing the Team USA. I mean, so this is nothing to her.
If she gets this squat, she will secure that forecasted 102.47 GL points. Oh,
and that
yeah.
is an easy attempt for Nicolette.
That is a good lift for her.
And like Katie said, previously in the previous show, we talked about how only Omar and Sarah were forecasted in the 110 plus GL score. But I mean, after this squat session, we now have Nicolette in contention for that spot. So it really is about execution in this session.
Right, Joey Ho, 230 kilo 3rd attempt.
We're the Joey Ho fans in the chat here.
Oh, come on. Another squat grind from Joey here.
3 white lights for Joey, and that is a new all-time PR for Joey.
Right. Jerry has 232.5. As you can see, we are in that 500-pound squat range. We got to bring out some extra spotters for these guys. He locks that out. Two to one is a good lift, and I think that moved better than his 2nd attempt.
Yeah. I mean, one referee did call him for depth, but that execution was far better than the 27.5. And now for our final lift of this flight, Noah Pilley, 235 kilos, 518 pounds for our 19-year-old lifter.
This is a massive squat for the 66 kilo class. His coach is in his corner there behind him. Come on.
Wow.
Oh.
Noah Pilley, 235.
And that's
3
a good
white
lift
lights.
for him. That is, in fact, a good lift. A little bit of delay with the lights, but he gets it. We are going right back to the top into flight B. We only have 2 flights in this session, so should be a little bit faster pace. Jacob Marcus is starting us out strong with a 215 kilo opener. No question about depth on his squat there. And the refs agree. All 3 white lights for that lift.
Yeah, I think like we saw in the previous session, I mean, we only had 2 misses out of the entire flight, and I mean, one on technicality and one on strength, but it just kind of goes to show when you compare this session to the other ones, these lifters know what they're doing. They're executing to perfection and know their bodies very, very well, along with their coaches.
Kyle Johnson, 225 kilos. So again, taking his time. Once that bar is called loaded, a 60-second timer begins. Lifters have all 60 seconds to take their time, unrack the bar, walk out, and get into their proper starting position before that head ref calls squat. What that proper starting position looks like is knees locked out, standing up properly, having a proper grip with the bar, and feet steady. Once all of those are achieved, that head ref will call squat and you can begin the descent. And then once they stand up and are locked out fully, they will receive the rack command. Only then can lifters rack back into the bar. Haven't seen any yet today, and hopefully we don't, but in the previous session, you know, we see a couple lifters forgetting about some of these commands, racking a little bit too early, but like we were saying, that is the benefit of having such elite lifters here. And speaking of elite lifters, Omar opening up with 240 kilos. Like we were saying, he is someone to watch out for today. Based on his openers, he has 104.38 GL points. And wow, that is
a
a
speedy squat.
fast opener. You know, he has some big goals for the 74 class today, and I am excited to see how he is able to execute those here.
Aaron Pittman up next, 252.5 kilos, taking a big jump here to 556 pounds.
Aaron Pittman is using up that minute that he has, staying calm and collected. It's another difference that I see, you know, in these elite level sessions. These lifters know how to get in that proper starting position. They know what that minute feels like, and so they are comfortable using up that time. Oh my goodness, that was a fast opening attempt.
And I think especially at this level, the openers are nowhere near reflective of what these lifters are capable of doing. A lot of them know that they are taking this opener almost like as a last warm-up on the platform, and they expect them to take crazy jumps. I mean, we see Jacob Marcus taking 15 kilos of a jump, Omar taking 15 kilos of a jump as well, and then Aaron taking a 20-kilo jump. So, I mean, we're going to see some pretty remarkable increases in totals in the forecasted placings as these guys start putting attempts down in the line.
You know, looking at these jump sizes that these guys are taking, Derek is opening only 20 kilos under his best squat. So we could potentially see a match on that on his second attempt, or at least getting up pretty close to that. Very slow and controlled into the hole.
And again, everyone is going to have their different variances in technique. We see Derek taking that slow descent and a controlled ascent, not really having much of a sticking point. So it's going to be different when gauging what he has left in the tank versus a very explosive athlete.
All right, and now we have Xavier opening up at 260 kilos, just 15 kilos under his best posted squat. He is another one of these higher forecasted lifters based on his openers. He's got a 97.11 GL point score. And that is a good lift from him, all 3 white light.
We have several lifters that are coming to us out of the Kentucky area. One of those lifters being Patrick Owens, who also previously competed at the Summer Showdown earlier this summer. So he is opening up with 272.5 kilos. So he has actually made some pretty incredible progress now since his best squat is 287. So he's opening up just 15 kilos below his all-time best. Wow.
It was a very fast opening attempt from him. We're making quite a jump on the squats now, all the way up to 295 for an opener. But this guy is quite the squatter. Michael's best squat is 312.5 kilos. And as you can see, he is a 93 kilo lifter. One of the lightest ones closing out. We've got a couple other heavier guys behind him, but he is quite a squatter for his body weight.
I mean, that is unreal strength there. As the 93 kilo lifter, lifting, he's probably going to be putting up over 700 pounds today. So to be able to squat at that weight, at this much weight, is so incredible.
All right, and then Ryan Jordan taking that same weight, 295, also quite the squatter. His best is 322.5.
He's one of the lifters that's on the hunt for the top placing. Sitting outside the podium currently, he is forecasted at a 98.726 GL score. So he is well within the 100 range, and I'm pretty sure after this opener, he will be well past that.
And he is a lifter that is actually coached by Waylon here, the director of this meet here and the owner of 5W. And with his projected GL points, it really does come down to execution. He is not in that #1 spot right now, but depending on how many lifts they get, how well they execute, I could very well see him moving up and placing. 2 white lights is a good lift for him.
I mean, that is something to be mindful of, knowing that he got 2 to 1 white lights. It was a good lift, but I think that kind of sits in the back of your mind, knowing that there is something that the referee saw that wasn't executed towards the standard. And I think the referee there on the right-hand side is explaining to him what the infraction was. So that's something to bear in mind as you move into the competition.
And now, if you thought we were squatting heavyweight, just hold on. 340 kilos for an opening attempt.
This is 750 pounds as an opening attempt. Wow.
This guy is a massive squatter.
I'm so glad we have very experienced spotters and loaders here today. I could not imagine spotting over 700 pounds.
Thank you again to our spotting and loading crew, keeping our lifters safe for heavy, heavy squats like this. If something were to go wrong, our lifters are in good hands.
Wow, and
But
750.
Tyrell has that weight under control today. He does not need them. And, speaking of our spotters and loaders, look at how fast they are moving. We've got that weight change clock on there going. And let's see what they hit. 12.73. I think that might be close to a best for them.
I mean, to go from 750 to 507 in about 12 seconds in weight change, that speaks on so much experience that these spotters and loaders have. I mean, they've kept our lifters safe the entire time throughout this weekend with no incidents happening, and that's thanks to the TSS spotting and loading crew.
Yeah, and we're keeping all of those spotters to work because all of our squats from here on out will be over 500 pounds. Another shout out as well. Our spotters and loaders and just about all of our staff today are repping that 5W Worker collab outfit, exclusively sold here by one of our big sponsors, Worker. Thank you again to them for helping make this meet possible today.
And that is 3 white lights for Jacob Marcus. And again, like we were seeing in the first flight, I mean, this second flight is also executing to perfection. No missed openers, and I highly doubt we're going to see any missed second attempts here. I mean, this is a flight that is full of years of experience, so expect Kyle Johnson to make easy work out of 237.5.
Once again, taking his time. He knows how to use up that clock. 237 kilos is not something that needs to be rushed. A little bit of a fight coming out that hole. Looks like he gets pushed forward a little bit, but does not matter. 2 white lights for him is a good lift. And Omar is back out, just 5 kilos under his best squat already of 260. He is squatting 255 right now, weighing in the 74 kilo class at only 73.3.
And way to hang in there with a lot of these heavier guys. Yeah, 73.3 kilos, squatting over 560 pounds.
To put that in a little bit better reference, it's 161-pound body weight.
That is insane.
And look at how easily that he moved that. 3 white lights for him.
Again, Omar is one of the lifters that is in contention for that top spot. With that second attempt, he is forecasted with a 106.595 GL score.
And a lot of these lifters are in another head-to-head after that summer 5W Classic meet. Omar and Sarah had a pretty tight battle for that first and second place, and I know Omar had his sights set on beating her today. So once again, it's going to come down to how many lifts can these lifters actually make. Derek Samuel back out to 270 kilos.
Good squat there by Derek. Let's see what the referees say on. No doubt about it.
Good lift for him. Looks like he's pacing for a decent sized squat PR on his third attempt.
Now we are pushing past the 600 barrier with Aaron Pittman, 272.5, 20 kilo jump.
So again, just 2.5 shy of his best squat on his second attempt.
He's pacing for a PR. His previous best, 275. Expect him to go significantly higher than that for his third attempt. But first, he needs to hit this.
Oh, yeah. I think he is due for a squat PR.
Xavier Wymkin up next. Another 20 kilo jump for him. 280 kilos, 617 pounds.
Just again, really making sure he takes his time, gets in that right headspace. Making sure that he gets good depth on that squat, walks it out, and 3 white lights is a good lift for him.
Patrick Owens up next. A 15 kilo jump, 287.5 kilos. This will match his previous competition best.
He locks that one out. 3 white lights for that squat for him.
These guys have been progressing so much since they last competed. Patrick Owens smoking his competition best. Now we got Ryan Jordan, another lifter from Kentucky, taking 317.5 kilos.
I want to point out, exactly like we saw in the first fight, these lifters have only put out green for all of these lifts. They know exactly what they are doing. And hopefully Ryan can keep this streak up for us right now with 317.5 kilos on this massive squat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is going to not only PR, but he is in contention for the top spot with that squat. He is now over 100 GL score, sitting at 101.52.
And we already have a couple lifters in this flight forecasted over 100 GL points. I want to highlight a few of these. So we still have Omar sitting at 108.8, and we now have Xavier at 100.3, RJ at 103, and Michael coming up. If he gets this squat, he will be at 101. Never mind what he could potentially put in for his 3rd attempt.
I mean, these are just seconds.
Yeah. It is crazy that we are seeing so many lifters already pushing that 100 good lift point barrier. Yep, and with that, he's already secured that 100 GL point forecasted score.
Despite a 20 kilo jump, Michael makes easy work out of that 2nd attempt. So expect him. I mean, that was already over 700 pounds. But now, talking about 700 pounds, is this about over 800 pounds?
I could not even tell you what 365 is. I have never loaded that.
Okay, so yeah, I'm doing the math here.
804-pound squat.
So you saw a 700-pound squat by Michael. You are now going to witness a 800-pound squat by Tyrell Williams on a 2nd attempt, mind you.
You know, this is something that I've totaled before, and he's squatting some people's entire total right now.
Think about how many of your lifts you need to add up to equal 800. Tyrell, he's squatting that.
All right, let's see how he moves this 800-pound squat. Oh, yeah.
Wow. 3 white lights. And again, the execution for these lifters is just otherworldly. I mean, it's white light, green after green after green.
So far, not a single first or second attempt missed this entire session. We
See a
might
shot
see,
there.
we're going to see these lifters push their barriers here. Hopefully, they know their limits. They can grind through these lifts. Start us off strong. Jacob Marcus with a 240 kilo third attempt here. Bar is loaded for him. Let's go, Jacob. Oh,
Yeah, just a little bit too much there, but he still walks away with 230 kilos. Again, it kind of brushes that off, and in powerlifting, it's super imperative that you just maintain a short memory. I mean, squats is one thing, but we still got bench and deadlifts ahead of us.
all right. Kyle Johnson is up next. This is going to be a decent size squat PR for him, 250 kilos. Oh, a little too much as well. It looks like he took a pretty big jump up from his second attempt. His second attempt was a little bit of a fight there. Decided to take a 12.5 jump up to his third.
Again, some of these lifters are from the outside looking in. They know they're not going to be in contention for those top spots, so they might risk and try to sneak into those top placements, but sometimes it might not work out in your favor.
And now Omar, 270 kilo squat. This would, I believe, be a 10 kilo squat PR for him based on what he just hit in August. This is a massive squat in the 74 class. Seriously pushing the barriers of the 74 kilo lifters. Oh.
And just barely missed it. Omar, he was just getting past that sticking point, but ran out of gas towards the mid part of the squat. And I mean, we have a streak going on with missed attempts. Hopefully we can break that soon.
Right. Like you said, hopefully Aaron can break that for him. His second attempt looked good. I think he is good for a 282.5 squat. All right, come on, Aaron. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He had so much more in him.
I mean, that didn't even look like a PR. Aaron Pittman, 282.5, secured 3 for 3 on squats.
All right, up next, Xavier with a 10 kilo squat PR for 285. His second attempt looked a little bit heavy. He opted for only a 5 kilo jump from that.
I think that's a smart decision. I mean, when your second attempt moved like it did, you really just want to stack on those kilos and not overextend yourself. Let's see how Xavier handles 285.
Oh, yeah. Great catch from our spotters and loaders, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too much for him. But, you know, when 5 kilos is too much, you
Only
may
misses out on
have
5
had
kilos.
a 2.5 jump.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, though, like, it really isn't that big of a loss. 5 kilos isn't a detriment to your total. And grateful that he didn't have to grind anything and save that energy. But now we have Derek Samuel, 285.
All right, come on, Derek. This will secure him into that 91 IPF points range.
Oh my
Come on.
gosh, Derek.
Oh my God.
Let's go, Derek.
That was an insane squat and 2 to 1.
Let's
That is
go.
a good lift. He is telling the crowd who he is right now.
This is what Primetime is all about. The excitement, the emotions, and just being able to see how these athletes react to their hard work and sacrifices, laying it all out here in the platform and showcasing it in front of this entire community.
All right, keeping this energy up for Patrick Owens, 305 kilo squat attempt.
A 17.5 kilo jump after taking a 15 kilo jump. I mean, Patrick has made some incredible strides in covering ground.
Oh, a little bit too much. We're seeing a lot of these men really reaching for these third squats. Upping the bar to 330 kilos for RJ. After this, watching that fail one more time. Great catch by those spotters. All right, this squat will put him right behind. See, right behind Michael if he gets a squat. Him and Michael are close for that second place behind Omar.
Separated by only 0.5 of an IPF point.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 2 to 1. Good lift. And Ryan kind of solidified himself in those top 3 places. I mean, just this is a very, very competitive field. I think he's within the top 5, but he is now at a forecasted 103.073 GL score. But now Michael is looking to take that lead with a 103.566 if successful with this 337.5 kilo attempt.
And once again, 337 for a 93 kilo lifter. Oh, I thought he could have grinded that out. Fortunately, that will be a no lift.
He still walks away with a over 700-pound squat, so that is nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, Michael is still sitting in the contention for the top spot, still forecasted over 100 GL scores.
Yes, so that brings him back down to that 101.2 score. He does have, you know, the room to pull himself back up with deadlifts. I think RJ is going to take that lead for sure back with his massive bench press.
And so we just saw an 800-pound squat by Tyrell in the second attempt. We are now bumping that up to 832 for a 377.5 kilo attempt.
Those spotters and loaders are putting together a game plan right now.
Oh my God, Tyrell Williams.
Wow.
2-1.
377.5 is a good lift for him. That is a massive squat to end on today.
I mean, this is a local meet, and we're talking about seeing lifters squat over 700, 800 pounds. Where else do you see that at local meets? I mean, you'll find it here at the 5W Midwest Showdown. And just to recap what we are seeing today here for the top 10 men's session, we saw this is an aggregation of all the lifters who competed both in the morning session and the afternoon session. So after today, we have for the GL scores, we have Keegan, Christian, and Carlos, who have a GL score of 85, 82, and 79 respectively, but that is because they have finished their entire competition. So this is not accounting for the lifters who have competed during Primetime and have forecasted placings of over 100 GL scores. So these are projected to change as soon as the first deadlift hits the ground.
And then taking a look at that top 10 women list. So for the same reason, since Brooke has already achieved a total, she is holding that number one spot of 79.09. And looking at these GL points, Nicolette is actually taking the lead right now with her massive squat, putting her at a 40.61. Sarah Mercer is not far behind, though, with 39.54, followed by Cassandra with 35.03 and Tova with 31.81. Once again, these are the IPF points just based on their squats, so these will increase with the bench press, and then we'll get to see these placings truly take form once they get their first deadlifts in.
And again, if you're joining us and you haven't gotten the chance to see the lifting cast, and you can actually see the forecasted placings there, be sure to go to liftingcast.com/meets, and you can click on Powerlifting America 5W Midwest Open Showdown, and you can see exactly what we see on screen. So you can watch the live stream and see these forecasted placings and see how they shake up as the lifting continues.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching for squat, but don't go anywhere yet. We're going to take a quick 10-minute intermission before we kick things back off with the bench press.
I'm here with my guy, Brian. He's a sales director for Math Science. We've been working together for what, 2 years?
2 years and counting.
2 years and counting.
Let's go.
This is, I believe it's a hoodie.
Hoodie.
So Brian, why don't you tell the audience what makes this hoodie special?
It's just heavier. Right now, everyone's trying to get heavier, more premium options. So there's different price points. We looked at, hey, here's a regular hoodie. Here's one that's a little bit better, which you've used in the past.
Yeah.
And then this is a brand new one that it's like, hey, this is way more fashion forward.
Yeah.
It's heavier. It feels really good. And everyone that we've shown it to absolutely loves it.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
This looks super modernized. And right now it's getting cold and cold in Chicago. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's definitely
So
the hoodie to go.
It's a little bit oversized. You can see like drop shoulders. There's no drawstrings, so it's more like urban, more fashion forward. Raglan sleeves, and then it's French terry on the inside.
Yeah.
So it just has really good weight to it. And let's look at the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, right here.
Same thing with the shirt. This is a heavier option. There's like a standard option. You've used other brands in the past. You've used this one a lot too.
Yeah, I've used this one a lot, yeah.
This is a heavier option, oversized, drop shoulders, slightly cropped. Again, this is probably like our #1 shirt when people want, hey, I want a fashion forward shirt. I want to spend a little bit more money. This is the way to go. And
Yeah.
then you guys tag them on the inside, so private
Yep.
label tags. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then that's this year's design.
Yeah, horse shirt.
Yeah.
We'll be dropping this in January most likely. But for now, just appreciate you again.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm happy, man. Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Thank you. Thank you.
looks different for all of us. But underneath, it's the same. The same silence, the same struggle, the same choice. You wake up with it. You feel it when you're alone. And when it's hard to keep going, you do it anyway. It's not about the destination. It's about who you become in order to get there. And some of us found in the gym, some on the road, some under the bar, or behind the bag. But what we're really chasing is something internal. A version of ourselves that holds under pressure, earned through repetition. It's not loud. There's no celebration. Just small moments, repeated and earned. You don't have to get it. Not everyone does. But if you do, you know what it means to keep showing up, hour after hour, when no one is watching. And that's the pursuit.
Fear. Fear is rooted in doubt. Doubt in myself. Am I strong enough to endure this? Do I have the unshaken will to walk the path I've chosen? The moment I doubt my will, fear creeps in, trying to conquer me, to enslave me. Doubt must be slain, and with it, fear. My will must then be shaken. Doubtless. No fear.
I'm here with my guy Brian. He's a sales director for Math Science. We've been working together for what, 2 years?
2 years and counting.
2 years and counting.
Let's go.
This is, I believe it's a hoodie.
Hoodie.
So Brian, why don't you tell the audience what makes this hoodie special?
It's just heavier. Right now, everyone's trying to get heavier, more premium options. So there's different price points. We looked at, hey, here's a regular hoodie. Here's one that's a little bit better, which you've used in the past.
Yeah.
And then this is a brand new one that it's like, hey, this is way more fashion forward.
Yeah.
It's heavier. It feels really good. And everyone that we've shown it to absolutely loves it.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
This looks super modernized. And right now it's getting cold and cold in Chicago. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's definitely
So
the hoodie to go.
It's a little bit oversized. You can see like drop shoulders. There's no drawstrings, so it's more like urban, more fashion forward. Raglan sleeves, and then it's French terry on the inside.
Yeah.
So it just has really good weight to it. And let's look at the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, right here.
Same thing with the shirt. This is a heavier option. There's like a standard option. You've used other brands in the past. You've used this one a lot too.
Yeah, I've used this one a lot, yeah.
This is a heavier option, oversized, drop shoulders, slightly cropped. Again, this is probably like our #1 shirt when people want, hey, I want a fashion forward shirt. I want to spend a little bit more money. This is the way to go. And
Yeah.
then you guys tag them on the inside. So private
Yep.
label tags. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then that's this year's design.
Yeah, the horse.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the primetime session of the Powerlifting America 5W Midwest Open Showdown. We're just getting started with the bench press. Not yet. We're still during our intermission, but we just got done with the squat. So let's just recap a little bit of what we saw. All right, so we had our women's session compete earlier in Flight A. And so what do we highlight there?
Yeah, so we saw some insane squat attempts with a really high success rate, actually. Not a single missed first or second attempt on squat, with only 2 missed third attempts. Really want to highlight, Nicolette Ziegler takes the lead so far in her current IPF points with a massive 215 kilo squat in that 84 class. And then followed behind her in terms of IPF points is Sarah Mercer, 160 kilo squat for the 57 kilo lifter, weighing in extremely light in that 57 class. She is an insane squatter, but just wait for her bench and her deadlift.
Yeah, and over on the men's side, we actually had some really insane performances, multiple 700-pound squats, and including an 800-pound squat by Tyrell Williams. Again, this Flight B session had really, really good execution with no missed openers or second attempts. So these forecasted placings are starting to shape up a little bit better now that we have squats and our third squats here in position. So for our women's side, I mean, we have Sarah Mercer leading the entire competition with a forecasted 110 GL score, followed by Omar, who is forecasted at 106.59. After that, we have Ryan Jordan at 103.07, and then we have Michael with a 101.1 with not that many. And
One of
yeah,
Michael actually is Nicolette with
Yeah,
102.4. Back to the women. And then closely behind her is Michael with that 101.2 GL score.
so we have multiple lifters who are already surpassing that 100 GL score, whereas initially, based off of just the openers, we had only two people, Omar and Sarah, who were forecasted above that. As we take a look here on screen, we're starting to see our athletes in the Flight A session starting to warm up for the bench press. Noah Pilley, who had an incredible performance in the squat, squatting 235 kilos as a 66-kilo athlete.
Yeah, and taking a look at what some of these benches are going to look like, we are already starting out at a minimum of a 60-kilo opener on bench in these women. Like we were saying, setting the bar very high. We started out with 300-pound squats. We're setting the bar high with 60-kilo bench presses. That is at that one plate mark already. We have some strong ladies in this flight. And going to take a look over at those men benches as well.
Yeah, so I mean, right now we have several benches that are starting up over the 400-pound mark. I mean, just from the Flight A lifters, I mean, we have lifters who are weighing in at 66, 74 kilos, already opening up above 300 pounds. But now as we transition over to Flight B, we see lifters starting off from Aaron Pittman, Ryan Jordan, Tyrell Williams, opening up over 400 pounds, with Tyrell Williams opening up just shy of 500 pounds. So we're going to see some really, really incredible and just insane benches. I mean, you can't even fathom how much it really is when you hold 500 pounds like that. I mean, I can't even imagine that.
Yes, and I'm very excited to see how these GL points, are really going to shape up. It's really going to come down to how many attempts are each of these lifters going to make. Sarah Mercer leading the pack, 3 for 3 on squats already. Closely behind her is Omar. He did miss his third squat, but he is definitely leading the men. Like you said, that 106 GL points, I think he's going to, probably clear these men in terms of GL points, but following closely behind him, we've got RJ, and if Omar is not able to execute, I could see RJ pulling through. RJ is also 3 for 3 on squats. If he keeps up that trend, there's a very good chance that we can see him pull through to that best overall male open lifter.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the pacing and the overall structure of this meet. It's unlike any of the other sessions we witnessed. I mean, this is only a 2-flight meet, meaning that while Flight A is lifting, Flight B needs to be warming up and getting themselves ready to start bench pressing. But then after Flight A is done and Flight B is going, it's not just rest for Flight A. While Flight B is going, they have to start warming up for the following discipline, because there's only going to be a 10-minute intermission after Flight B is done. So it's almost like you have to, as soon as you're done lifting from one discipline, change, get ready, and start warming up for the next discipline. So that's kind of what we see here with these Flight A lifters getting ready. So Flight B is currently resting right now, but they are getting their bodies warmed up. That way, once Flight A goes out there, they're ready to start warming up.
Yes, personally, I love the fast-paced type of meet like this where, keeps your mind going. You don't want to sit and get too cold physically or mentally as well. These lifters need to stay, locked in mentally in order to keep this momentum going.
Yeah, typically when you compete at a local meet that has more than 2 flights, you kind of come at a high, then you come down as you rest during those intermissions, and then you have to kind of get yourself back up to that high again. So here it really is about maintaining that high, whether it be just staying caffeinated, energized, and just the environment that we have here at the competition. So the energy is high throughout the entire afternoon.
Yeah, taking a look at, some of the momentum that we really do have going. These women, only 2 of these women missed their third squat attempt. Other than that, everyone is 3 for 3. And I think that we're going to see a big handful of lifters going 9 for 9, if not 9 for 9, 8 for 9 with, just that, pushing that third deadlift attempt there. And I am so excited to see these ladies have such a good day.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the difference in execution between Flight A and Flight B. I'm going to go on a whim and say that I think because Flight B got a chance to see what Flight A was capable of, they might have ran into the position of almost overextending themselves and wanting to surpass the lifters in Flight A. But, I mean, to their own demise, it really looks like it didn't work out for everybody. I mean, when you start chasing, when you start trying to put up numbers that maybe might have not been there during training, or maybe the technical execution might have not been there, that's when you start missing. So Flight B needs to do a better job if they want to stay in contention with a lot of the Flight A lifters in keeping up with them. I mean, you can't really win competitions like this when you miss lifts.
I think another aspect to it as well is, Sarah Mercer is an incredible lifter. She, I think, is going to clear a lot of these lifters with her GL points. And so when someone is so far ahead, it doesn't really seem in reach sometimes to try and reach her. And so their goal might just be to, put together the best total that they can, hit some good numbers. But, Omar's GL points might look a little bit more in reach to some of these lifters. And so that is what is making them overextend themselves, pushing them out of their comfort zones a little bit more. And I think that's why we were seeing, that close to 50% third squat attempt rate in that second flight versus only the 2 missed lifts on that first flight.
I mean, it really is Sarah's to lose. If we look back at the 5W Summer Classic back in August, Sarah Mercer and Omar also competed in this competition along with RJ Patrick. I mean, there was a lot of lifters who are repeats competing at the 5W Showdown now. But if we look at the Summer Classic, Sarah Mercer actually achieved a 112 GL score, followed by Omar with a 109.99, and that was only because he missed his final deadlift, which would have put him over Sarah Mercer's total. So these people are neck and neck, and I think in this case for the Midwest Showdown, it is Sarah Mercer's to lose, right? So it really comes down to execution, hitting your lifts, and you never know, some of the lifters in the bottom rankings might sneak into those top podium positions.
I think we might see that. And, talking about their previous gel points from that summer meet, they are both inching up on that already with just their bench and their deadlift openers forecast. Sarah is just 2 points behind. Omar is just 3 points behind. And I think we're going to see PRs on that from both of them. The caveat, though, is they have to execute well. They have to get these next 6 lifts in there.
And just talking about the technical execution now, we're transitioning over to starting the bench press. We see on screen our first lifter, Cassandra Posada, who went 3 for 3 in these squats and achieved a massive 157.5 kilos. The bar is now loaded for her in the bench press as she kicks us off with 60 kilos, 132.5s in the bench press.
Like we said, this is already a competitive bench press for women, and she is starting us off strong. Something else that, has been throwing off lifters in the previous session and in yesterday is bench depth. So, Kevin, do you want to go and introduce to us, what exactly those refs are looking for and what these viewers can look for as we get these front angles of some of these benches?
Yeah, absolutely. Like in the squat, we have 2 commands, the squat and the rack command. In the bench press, however, we have 3 commands. So as we walk through Nicole's bench press setup, she is currently setting up her feet, ensuring that her feet are fully flat on the ground. Her butt remains in contact with the bench. Her head stays in contact with the bench. And as she unracks the bar, she will hold it and receive the start command, lower the bar to her chest, hold it there motionless. She'll then receive the press command. She'll press it back out to full arm extension, hold it there once again, and then receive the third and final rack command and bring that bar back into the rack. So there are 3 commands that these athletes must hear to. So it is very important for them to have their listening ears on and make sure they are paying attention to the referee.
Like, now this is actually Tova's best bench that she is hitting as an opener. 77.5 kilos. Already benching more than her body weight in that 76 kilo class. And she hits that with ease. Definitely some more room in the tank for her. 3 white lights is a good lift.
Again, expect to see repeat execution like we saw in the squats, where I highly doubt there's going to be any lifters that are going to miss their openers or second attempts if they continue executing like we're seeing here.
And same thing with Akiana, matching her best bench as an opener. 85 kilos is on the bar for her. 69 kilo lifter. We are already getting into some strong benches for these ladies. Oh, that was a sticky opener.
And that raises several concerns there because, I mean, she got the lift 2-1. I mean, that's the closest you could probably get to a good lift, but that really limits you as far as options. Let's just kind of be real with that, right? What do you do in that situation, right? Is it a technical issue? Do you just go up 2.5 kilos? Do you scratch? I mean, what's kind of the mindset going into that?
Yeah, so obviously she's confident in loading that number. You know, she is an experienced lifter. She knows what her limits are. It could have been a technical issue. So I'm sure she's probably going to, maybe go with that 2.5 jump just to be safe. Taking a look at Sarah Mercer, opening and easily hitting 92.5. Gets a depth call from the head judge, but 2 white lights from the sides is a good lift. And now Nicolette leading the pack of women with the bench, opening with 105 kilos. This is a 231-pound bench, but she is a strong bencher. Her best is 112. If you think she is strong now, just wait till we see that third attempt.
I mean, if you think about what you see at a typical commercial gym, Nicolette is opening with over 2 commercial gym plates.
Clearing on bench depth and makes it look like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss for words for how easy she made that bench look.
She does not leave. Oh, and she is already matching her best bench of 112 on her second attempt. Making quite a big jump up there. Leaves no room for debate with those refs.
Speaking of 112.5, we got Q up next, taking that same weight as an opening attempt. And just shy of a 2 times bodyweight bench, he hits that with ease. 3 white lights.
All right, and now we have Noah, 66-kilo lifter, opening 5 kilos under his best bench with 130. This is 286 pounds that he's opening up with.
Oh, wow, what a speedy opener by Noah. 3 white lights.
Same weight is staying on the bar for Joey Ho. Another 66-kilo lifter taking that same weight for a spin.
And we haven't really talked about this battle here, but I mean, Noah Pili and Joey Ho are both juniors, both competing in the 66-kilo class, and they are only separated by 10 kilos in the forecasted placings. I mean, this is going to be a battle that we're going to hype up throughout the entire competition.
And you know what's especially interesting? They weighed in the exact weight down to the decimal, both 65.5. And if we get to see the case of they both hit the same exact total, it will come down to who hit it first.
I'm honestly surprised we haven't been talking about this because rarely do we see in primetime competitions this close of a battle. I mean, you're talking about 2 lifters in the same weight class, in the same age division, totaling just within 10 kilos from each other and weighing in at the exact same body weight.
Yeah, and just to, emphasize it again, Noah squatted 235, Joey squatted 230. They both opened up with 130, and they will both be opening deadlift with 240 as of right now. You know, those deadlift openers are subject to change if they choose to, but it is going to be close. And Jerry just smoked a 150 kilo opener. 2-1 was a good lift for him. And, you know, keeping track of that 66 battle, Joey added 137 for his second attempt, and Noah went 140. You know,
Back to the top of the order, we got Cassandra taking a 5-kilo jump, 65 kilos now for her. Again, everyone is on the board. Everybody executed on their opening attempt. Smooth attempt there for Cassandra. She gets 3 white lights.
Up next is Nicole with a 72.5 opener.
A bit on the more aggressive end for the jumps. Normally you don't see a 10-kilo jump, especially on the female side. So this is a sign that her bench press is moving incredibly well, and she's feeling confident for this lift.
And she makes very easy work of that. A 10-kilo jump had no effect on her. 2-1 is a good lift.
Again, these referees, especially our center judge, is calling lifters on elbow depth and is very keen on that because that is an important rule in Powerlifting America. It ensures that your elbow, the tip of your elbow, breaks below the middle of the shoulder joint. That ensures that these lifters are getting a proper range of motion in the bench press.
All right, and now Tova is making another considerably sized jump up to 85 kilos on her second attempt.
A bit of work, but a smooth attempt. And she gets...
I do agree with that. She called start, she put her butt up and
yep.
then set it back down. And I think that's what the ref is explaining to her there. You know, once you get that start command, your glutes have to remain in contact with that pad. I don't think it came up while she was pressing, but that's why, you know, it's important to make sure that your setup is expedient, to make sure that the head ref doesn't give you the start command a little bit earlier, you know? And now we've got Lakiana. We watched her opening attempt of 85 be quite a bit of a struggle, honestly. She got it 2-1. The smallest jump you're allowed to make in these meets is a 2.5 kilo jump, and she's opted for that. So hopefully, you know, maybe this was a technical error.
Praying it was execution and not a strength issue. So let's see Lakiana, 87.5, second attempt.
Come on.
Let's go, Lak.
Another grind.
And she manages to squeeze out an additional 2.5 kilos. Again, 2-1.
Good lift.
So she's on the brink of hitting all those lifts. I mean, she's 2 for 2 thus far, but I mean, really sitting on that edge. A nice message there for Sarah to the fans.
All right, we watched her smoke her opening attempt of 92.5. I believe this is a meet PR for her right here. 97.5 of the second attempt.
And we've seen Sarah make incredible strides during her training. She's benched over 100 kilos multiple times during her prep for this competition.
You know, getting elbow depth has been a little bit of a concern for her. So strength is usually not going to be her limiting factor. Yeah,
and
unfortunately, this was a depth call. 2-1, no lift. But it moved well, and she looks strong. So she can either choose to go up and sink it a little bit more, retake the weight. I think she can come back out and get that third bench.
I mean, it's almost a repeat from the Summer Classic. She hit her opener, went up 5 kilos, and missed it on elbow depth. So let's see how Sarah Mercer adjusts to this.
And now Nicolette is about to match her best bench of 112.5. She killed her opener of 105. Oh my god.
And that bar speed did not slow down at all. Nicolette smokes her all-time best with these 3 white lights.
I am excited to see
Yeah.
what she is going to hit there.
Call it now. What do you think she's going to go to?
Gotta be over 120.
I think she'll go 120. And just another 7.5 kilo jump?
If she does go 120, I think it's going to be easy.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I'm very excited for that.
We actually just saw that Sarah opted to go with 102.5, and we were both wrong. Nicolette decided to make a 5 kilo jump up to 117, which she's going to smoke based on how that second attempt moved. Q is taking 117 for a ride right here. Come on. Oh.
Just couldn't get past that sticky point and locking out the triceps. He will have another attempt at it for the thirds. And I kind of want to circle back to Nicolette right here. So she is opting to only go up 5 kilos despite her second attempt moving super easy. And I think she's building a case for wanting to track down Sarah Mercer. She's seeing that Sarah Mercer is having a bit of issues hitting bench step, and she saw that Sarah Mercer went up in weight. So she might be hawking her down and trying to build the total if, for whatever reason, Sarah Mercer might begin to miss. So this is something that might play out as we continue on and see these attempts.
You know, we saw some high levels of execution on squat, and we're seeing a little bit more reds on bench, but, you know, statistically, that does happen in the bench press just because you are waiting on someone else's press command, and you never know exactly what it's going to look like. It could be a little bit longer than what you're training for. Hopefully, you know, these athletes are used to high-level meets. They know what to expect. So hopefully they can make good calls based on, you know, pause lengths, everything like that. You know, some of these calls as well are on depth, which is something that lifters are still getting a little used to adapting to. But still overall, seeing some good execution here. Noah Pilley is benching 140. And wow, that moved very easy. This is an example of that high-level athlete execution that we're talking about here. Closing out second attempts, we have Jerry Cruz, 155 kilos.
Again, this is over 2 times his body weight in the bench press as a 72.5 kilo athlete, lifting in the 74 class. And the bar sort of stalls at the top, but it doesn't actually stop. He gets 2-1, a good lift, and is on the board.
And that wraps up our second attempts, going straight into thirds. Starting us out will be Cassandra, 70 kilos for a third attempt, 155 pounds. She is getting herself ready for this bench attempt.
Oh, wow.
Good push. She locks it out, and depth looked good to me. 2-1, good lift.
6 for 6 for Cass. And that is the best possible scenario you could end up on the bench press. Just going 6 for 6 and building that momentum as you go into deadlifts. That's how you win meets. That's how you actually end up hitting these PR totals.
All right, we have Nicole up next. She made that massive 10 kilo jump up to her second and opted for only a 5 kilo jump to her third. But her second moved good enough that I think this is going to be just about a perfect call for her. All right, let's see it, Nicole. Oh,
Unable to press it up off, but I mean, she still walks away with 72.5 kilos, and after a 1.5 year hiatus, I mean, she is dipping her toes back into powerlifting. So to be competing on a primetime stage already is a feat in itself.
all right. So with Kova, just to refresh your memory, on that second attempt, she got the start command, lifted her butt, and set it back down, continuing her setup. Unfortunately, that was an infraction, but her bench moved well, and she decided to go up 5 kilos from there. Just knows that she needs to wait for that. She gets that start command, butt stays down. Oh.
And this is one of those cases where the risk doesn't play in your favor. She did go up an additional 5 kilos, was able to make that technical adjustment, but unfortunately, the weight was just a little bit too much for her.
All right. Up next, Lakiana Jones. I don't know what to expect from her right now. We watched her grind that 85, and I didn't think she had any gas left in her, but then she
Almost-
grinded out that 87 again.
Defying the odds here, right? I mean, we all thought that she was probably, I mean, not to think of the worst, but unable to go up after 85, but she's proving us wrong, and she will take a swing at 90 kilos.
I hope she proves us wrong here again. Come on, Lakiana. Let's see this 90-kilo bench press.
Let's go!
Oh.
And yeah, she kind of met her limit there on the bench press. But I mean, when you think about it, she's only losing on 2.5 kilos, which isn't a whole lot of weight to lose from. I mean, 87.5 is already a huge bench in and of itself.
I wouldn't say she lost out on any kilos at all because
She hit her
made
max.
the minimum jump that she could make, and it wasn't there. So she hit her max for today. Sarah Mercer, she missed her second attempt on depth, but it moved fast.
Your current leader, but also gambling a bit. I mean, if she misses this, she will fall back 10 kilos in the forecasted placings and almost open up the door for anybody to sneak into that top spot. So this lift needs to be hit.
She locks that out.
Where's
Let's
the elbow
see.
depth? 2-1. No lift on the elbow depth, but this time coming from the opposite side.
I did see, it
I-
looks like one of her elbows is lower than the other.
I do tend to agree on that call. I mean, she did shift her body and did have that right elbow come up and be higher than the left one.
Yeah, she is still taking that lead with 110 forecast IPF points. If Nicolette gets this, she will be sitting at 104.8. And, like we were talking about, that 9 for 9 day is where you can sneak yourself in. Let's see this 117.5 bench press from Nicolette. Oh, my God.
That looked like an opener. Come on, Nicolette.
That moved amazing. I think she should have gone for that 120 range and it would have been
Absolutely.
there. But, cannot complain about a 5-kilo bench PR moving that fast. Now, Q missed his second attempt of 117 on strength, but has one more chance at it here for us. Oh,
Heck, what a
Oh!
comeback there for Q.
right where he got stuck the last time, he was able to push through.
I mean, it just looked like he kicked into a second gear there. 3 white lights, and he walks away with 117.5 kilos. I mean, Q is back in this.
It's not all that often you get to watch someone fail on strength and come back for it.
Now let's talk
Joey-
about these 66s real quick. Joey Ho and Noah Pilley going back to back. I mean, Joey Ho kind of trailing behind Noah, but he needs this in order to continue stacking on those kilos and build that total to contend against Noah Pilley, who will go right after him.
They have both been looking strong. Comes down to, can they both get their third bench presses here? Oh, come on.
Let's go, Joey.
Oh. He only took a 2.5 jump from his second attempt.
Yeah, and this will only widen the gap a bit if Noah is successful with this weight. If Noah hits, they will now be spread by 12.5 kilos in the forecasted placings when considering their squats and deadlifts. Noah Paley, our 19-year-old local to MPG Fitness. He is your 2025 high school national champion, competing here at the Midwest Showdown in the Primetime session.
His first 2 attempts looked very strong. Oh, come on. Bit of a grind, but he locks that out, pushing him even further. And 3 white lights is a good lift, solidifying his placing a little bit further above Joey.
I mean, he is showing the execution of a veteran here. I mean, to be going 6 for 6 in the competition and executing with the precision, with the amount of room left in the tank, I mean, that is something that builds national champions.
Jerry Cruz closing out the bench on this flight. 160 kilos in the 74 class. Oh, a little bit too much. All right, we are jumping straight into Flight B today. You know, we had a couple unfortunate misses in this flight. Hopefully Flight B can, you know, put together a little bit better execution than what we were seeing with some of their squats. Jacob Marcus is starting us out with a 130 kilo bench opener. This is just 7.5 under his best bench.
Smooth attempt there for Jacob.
3 white lights.
And again, there's going to be different approaches a lot of these lifters take when it comes to their competition. Some of the lifters who are nominated towards the top of the list in the forecasted placings, they're going to be wanting to put up the highest possible total and almost be watching their other competitors and seeing how they stack up against them. There's other people who are maybe new to the primetime scene and are breaking into this session, so they will be now just focusing on building their own individual totals and performances, like we see here with maybe Jacob, Kyle, or other lifters who might not be in contention for the top placings, but are trying to put up the highest possible score they can in this session. That is an easy attempt by Kyle.
Very speedy opener, making light work of 140 kilos. Gets 1 red card from depth from the center judge, but 2 white lights is a good lift. Patrick Owens is taking 150 kilos for his opening bench. Made that move. 3 white lights for him. All right, coming up is another one of our heavy hitters. Michael is benching 172.5 for his opener. Once again, his forecasted IPF points if this bench is successful, puts him at 101.27.
We weren't able to quite see that lift, but I'm pretty sure it moved well. And I mean, the judges say 3 white lights, so I guess we'll take their word for it.
Right, and like I was saying, that solidified that 101 IPF points score. And looking at the men, based on some of these opening benches, Omar taking the lead with 106, RJ shortly behind with 103. Michael, he solidified that 101. With his second attempt, he would be at 102.5. And, I think that we've had a couple opening attempt changes. We had another lifter that was in that 100-point range that has dropped down, but, definitely not a bad sign. I think seeing, some opening changes just means that lifters are going to put together some better attempts for us today, giving them the better chance to make all 9 lifts.
I think, yeah, and I think that speaks into the strategy of these lifters, right? So some of the lifters that might have missed a third attempt squat, they might either drop down a bench opener or maybe take smaller jumps in the bench press and deadlift, knowing that they are now trailing behind after missing kilos, leaving kilos on the table from those squat attempts. So they are now taking the more conservative approach and almost guaranteeing that they hit every single lift instead of trying to gamble with those reach lifts.
Exactly, and Omar holding that lead in the men's 177.5 for his opener. See what the refs say on that. 3 red cards for depth. That was unfortunately a no lift. Like Kevin has been emphasizing to us, that elbow needs to break below that center of the shoulder joint. He will have the chance to retake that in 2 more attempts, but up next we have Xavier, opening up at 180 kilos. This is exactly what we're talking about, Unfortunately, Omar, his plan is probably getting a little bit derailed. He missed that third squat. He's having to retake the bench opener. And, it's really opening the door for that second place lifter, RJ, to, sneak his way in if his plan continues as it seems to be going. Xavier hits a solid bench opener of 180, 3 white lights.
And I think this is different strategy from Omar than from what we saw in the earlier session. In the earlier session, we would often see lifters who would miss a attempt on strength, a technicality, or whatever it may be, but they still opted to go up. And like we saw, it might have not worked well in that case, but here we see the experience sort of coming out of Omar in guaranteeing that he hits his 177.5 and he just gets himself on the board before moving up in weight.
I know Omar is watching Sarah, so maybe this was even something that, watching how this played out for Sarah could have scared him a little bit. And now he knows, okay, if I miss on depth, I'm going to retake it. I'm going to make sure I get that on the board and then go up from there.
Absolutely.
Aaron is opening already over 400 pounds, 182.5. Oh, my God. You blink and you miss that.
Look at that! Just look at that replay right there. I mean, just
I think we need to watch this
yeah,
again.
I mean, I think I missed it.
Wow.
So let's talk about that technique there, right? So you notice that Aaron doesn't really have that much of a high arch, wide grip bench press we might see from some lifters. He's just a very muscular lifter, right? So that mass allows him to transfer all that energy into the bar. Because he has that narrow grip, it requires him to be muscular in order to move the weight.
Exactly. Now we've got one of our other big benchers, RJ, 215 kilos as an opener. Like we were saying, currently sitting in that second place spot. Depending on how well he can execute today, he could pull into that first place. Let's see how his bench is showing up. Oh my goodness.
Wow, and RJ, you are going to put up a over 500 plus pound bench. I'm calling it here now, but speaking about 500 pounds, Tyrell Williams is just shy of it with 486 on the bar now.
And His best bench is 252.5.
With the jumps he's taken on a squat, I'm almost scared to see this bench, right? I already know it's gonna move fast, and I don't even know how far he's gonna take this bench. Again, he's not utilizing a full grip on the bench.
All right, he locks that out, makes it move easy. That is unfortunately a no lift. I believe that is because his head left the bench pad there, which
Absolutely. So if you look back and see his bench press attempt, his head comes up as soon as that bar comes to his chest, which unfortunately in under IPF rules, that is not allowed.
you know, when you look at like, how some of these heavyweight men are built, when your back is so big, it can be a little hard to keep your head on the bench pad, and I think that is something that he struggles with a little bit. Hopefully, this is something that he knows how to fix this. I personally have never struggled with this as a lighter weight female, but hopefully this is something that there's a little bit of strategy to it that he can fix that. He's gonna retake 220 for his second attempt.
I think this is a very wise decision on both Omar and Tyrell's part, just getting something on the board and then going up after that. Good attempt there by Jacob. I mean, he is just pitching away at these kilos. I mean, picks up an additional 7.5 kilos, and he's really just building his total. That's what he's here for, competing in the primetime stage.
All right, and I want to take a look at some of these standings again. So, with Omar retaking his bench, his forecasted points is sitting at 106.5, but RJ made a successful bench, is looking strong, and with his second attempt, he is at 104.6. So, exactly like we're talking about, with good execution, it is 100% possible for someone to sneak their way up by going 9 for 9 and putting together some good attempts. Right now, Kyle Johnson is taking 150 kilos for his second attempt. Makes it move. And the
Smooth
rest take
attempt
good
there.
lift. This is 157 kilos for Patrick right now.
Good attempt there. Picked up 7.5. Oh, and he gets 2-1, a no lift on the sides.
I believe there was a blue card for some soft elbows, is what I would assume.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of technical things that these referees are looking for, from all the way from the feet to the head. I mean, you really can't make a mistake here in the bench press.
All right, Omar. He hit his first attempt easily, but unfortunately got 3 reds due to bench depth. So hopefully he has found a way to adjust his technique and hit this for his second attempt. He sunk it into his chest, which he didn't do before, and it looks like exactly he hit that. 3 white lights. He gets a bench and is now on track to register a total.
And it's almost like that sigh of relief and like just the the fact that he had to retake it, knowing that that weight is very easy for him.
Right, and now we have Michael, 182.5 for his second attempt, and over 400-pound bench for the 93-kilo lifter. So again, also just inching his way up there. If he gets this, He'll solidify that 102.5 GL points, putting him just behind RJ in overall men open lifter. 2-1 is a good lift for him.
Derek Samuel, a lifter who went 3 for 3 in the squats, is looking to pick up an additional 10 kilos in the bench. I mean, he's one of the lifters who currently sits on the outside, currently forecasted with 92.9 GL scores. But, I mean, if he continues with the consistency, who knows? Maybe he can crack the 100 or just shy of it.
Very controlled and slow down to that chest. An extremely soft touch.
I'm not sure if he hit the rack or the upright, but it looked like the weight just kind of stalled very hard at the lockout portion. So he's kind of talking to his coach, explaining what they're doing, and I believe his coach told the scoring table that they will be retaking that weight.
All right, and now we have Xavier, 190 kilos for his second attempt. This would put him at 101 GL points if this lift is successful. And that was a solid second attempt from him. But unfortunately, he missed on elbow depth. Looks like that's something he was not expecting to miss on. Looked a little bit confused there, but it looked like it moved well enough that I think he can come back and retake that for his third. Up next.
Meanwhile, we got Aaron Pittman up next, taking a 12.5 kilo jump. Already opened up with 400 pounds, looking to take that all the way up to 430.
You know, he is also inching his way up there in terms of GL points. This would put him at a forecasted of 90.86 GL points here.
Wow, what an easy second attempt by Aaron.
All of his attempts today have looked phenomenal, and I assume we're going to see the same from his third attempt.
And again, a lifter who is currently forecasted sitting at just at 90.86 GL score. So again, he is building a case to put himself in those high 9s, potentially 100s if he has a deadlift in store for us.
Tyrell Williams is up next. He hit his first attempt of 220, but unfortunately his head came up off the bench and it was a no lift because of that. He is out retaking it again for his second attempt. Hopefully he knows how to fix that technical error. He is a strong bencher. Let's see it. He moves it easily. The refs say good lift, only one red from the side. So he now also has a total. Everyone has a bench on the board. And what's especially crazy, even though Tyrell was retaking his first attempt, we have the 105 closing out the bench flight. RJ, Ryan Jordan, 227.5 as his second attempt.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, 227.5 is that infamous number 501. So this is our first 500-pound bench press, and I think our only one for this competition thus far, right?
I think you are definitely right.
No collegiate athlete bench 500, right?
I don't think so. And
yeah, easy work.
It is a funny thing to see 5 spotters on a bench press, but we've got that here for RJ. He takes that look easy. You know, friendly competition with Omar there. They're all hugging each other every time they go. And I am excited to see what him and Omar will be loading. I want to watch RJ push Omar out of his comfort zone today.
And again, I'm so excited as we get these third attempts underway. I mean, we're really starting to see how tight this battle is going to be from all the lifters from Flight A to Flight B. I mean, these lifters are neck and neck with just a few points spread in GL.
All right, we are already on to our last bench attempts of the entire meet. Jacob Marcus starting us off with 145 kilos. On a little bit too much for him today. He still walks away with that 137.5 second attempt. Kyle Johnson making that 7.5 jump up to 157.5. Taking his time, getting his setup right. Once again, these lifters know how to use up their clock. He's pushing, but a little bit too much.
And we're starting to see some dips in execution from this Flight B crew. I mean, these guys are pushing themselves to the very limit. And really, when it comes to finding that sweet spot in the third attempt, it's trying to see what you can max out without tipping yourself over that edge. So right now, these guys are really trying to find that. And Patrick Owens, I mean, despite missing his second attempt bench press with 157.5, opted to go up 2.5 kilos. So a risky move considering what we've seen today.
His second attempt did move well. He just got those 2 blues from the side refs. Come on. Blocks it out. See what the refs say. Good lift.
Yeah, he sunk it a little bit deeper and was rewarded with those 3 white lights.
Derek Samuel missed his second attempt. It looked like it was going, but then it got stopped on the way up. 185 kilos. One last chance at it today.
Again, it really didn't look like much of a strength issue. It looked like the bar might have gotten caught with something, or just a technical error, but I mean, not a strength one. Derek has been here before. Let's see him execute.
Once again, very slow to the chest. Gets that quick press command.
And
He's
that's what we
pushing it.
love to see.
A comeback from that second attempt. 3 white lights. He is having some good third attempt grinds for us today. This is what we love to see.
I mean, a true showman of the sport as we see him celebrating. I mean, you gotta love to see that.
All right. Michael has 187.5 loaded. Once again, pushing him even further into the hundreds. If this is successful, his forecasted IPF points will be 103.2. Putting him just behind RJ, and he blocks it out.
I mean, let's be real. Michael wasn't really one of the people that we were talking about to be in contention for that top spot. But based off of this performance, I mean, he is currently forecasted at 103.239, like you said, and he is really making a statement. And solidifying himself not only within the top 5, but with the ability to sneak into that podium as we go into deadlifts.
This is exactly what we were talking about in the beginning, how just because you're nominated position does not mean that's where you're going to end up. Omar making a risky
Huge
jump
jump
up
there.
to his 3rd attempt. He needs to hit elbow depth, and he needs to hit this on strength. He sinks it. Oh! You know, I think this is something that he could normally hit, but with the adjustment to depth on the day, it's very unfortunate. At least he did get that 2nd attempt, but I know this isn't what he wanted coming out of this. But, you know, taking another look at these points now. With Omar's best bench now, he is sitting at a forecasted of 106.59. RJ is sneaking up behind him with 105.86. Xavier, right now, if this is successful, will be pushed to 102.03. He missed his 2nd attempt on depth and opted to go up by 15 pounds. He's fighting.
Very well executed there, Xavier. And referees say 2-1. 2 is all you need. That's a good lift. A 10-kilo jump here for Aaron.
All right, we only have 2 lifters in this flight thus far that are 5 for 5 attempts, and based on how Aaron's attempts have been moving, I think he's going to be that first one to secure a 6 for 6 here for us.
I mean, I really don't anticipate Aaron starting to miss lifts now. I mean, his execution has been superb, and 205 should be something well within his reach.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Come on, Aaron.
He is 6 for 6 so far in a perfect spot going into deadlifts. And now,
I was going to say, and you'd think he'd already been doing this weight before, but Aaron's previous competition best was 192.5, and he just surpassed that by 12.5 kilos. So that is some insane progress, and moving it at the speed, I mean, just goes to show how much he's progressed over his training.
Tyrell Williams missed his 2nd attempt from his head coming off the pad, fixed that error for his 2nd attempt and got it, and has now gone up to 235. Another over 500 pounds bench press. We have 5 spotters on a bench press right now. Oh, wow.
3 white lights. I mean, Tyrell is putting on a show for everybody, squatting over 800 pounds, benching over 500 pounds.
And he didn't even look all that impressed
Right,
coming up,
yeah.
shrugging it off like it's no big deal.
I mean, you wonder if that might have just been his planned 2nd attempt, and he had maybe 250 or something more in store for us. But up next, we have Ryan Jordan, 237.5, our 105-kilo lifter. Again,
Closing out the flight.
yeah, he is closing the flight, and he's in the hunt. I mean, this is a crucial lift if he really wants to stay in contention with Omar, Sarah, and all the other lifters that are just putting up incredible performances.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last bench of the meet, over 500 pounds. Just like Kevin said, there is a lot riding on this for him. Securing that 105.8 IPF points if successful. Come on! Oh.
And with that, that kind of swings the door open, right? I mean, we see that Sarah currently leads with 110 kilo GL points, but I mean, that dropped Ryan all the way down to 104. So he is losing points as he misses those lifts. I mean, he's gone 5 for 6 now, but I mean, I mean, we still got plenty of lifting left to go. I mean, we're not even through deadlifts yet. But as we see these top 10 placings, we still see lifters from the open session earlier today that are still riding and dominating those scorings. But if we look at the forecasted GL scores, we see that there's plenty of men that are going to be well within those top 10 and stealing all those podium spots. But currently we have Keegan, Christian, and Carlos in those top 3 positions. However, over on the Primetime forecast side, we see that currently we have Omar leading the pack with 106.59, followed by RJ Ryan with 104.62, and then we have Michael with 103. So that spread of 3 points is something that can easily be closed once we move into the deadlifts.
And now taking a look at that top woman, just like we said, Brooke Caldwell is the only one who has a total so far, leading the pack with 79.09 GL points. But taking a look at both the forecasted and the current, Nicolette is a subtotal girl. She is leading with 62.81, with Sarah very closely behind at 62.4. But, after deadlifts kick in, this is all going to change. Taking a look at those forecasted IPF points, Sarah is leading with 110.58, Nicolette behind at 104.83, and behind them is Lakiana Jones at 84.43. This is a very strong session, and we are very looking forward to what these women and men will be pulling in deadlifts. So once again, don't go anywhere, stick around. We have a 10-minute intermission with a couple ads to show you guys with some of our sponsors. So we will be back for you guys in just about 10 minutes.
I'm here with my guy, Brian. He's a sales director for Math Science. We've been working together for what, 2 years?
2 years and counting.
2 years and counting.
Let's go.
This is, I believe it's a hoodie.
Hoodie.
So Brian, why don't you tell the audience what makes this hoodie special?
It's just heavier. Right now, everyone's trying to get heavier, more premium options. So there's different price points. We looked at, hey, here's a regular hoodie. Here's one that's a little bit better, which you've used in the past.
Yeah.
And then this is a brand new one that it's like, hey, this is way more fashion forward.
Yeah.
It's heavier. It feels really good. And everyone that we've shown it to absolutely loves it.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
This looks super modernized. And right now it's getting cold and cold in Chicago. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's definitely
So
the hoodie to go.
It's a little bit oversized. You can see like drop shoulders. There's no drawstrings, so it's more like urban, more fashion forward. Raglan sleeves, and then it's French terry on the inside.
Yeah.
So it just has really good weight to it. And let's look at the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shirt right here.
Same thing with the shirt. This is a heavier option. There's like a standard option. You've used other brands in the past. You've used this one a lot too.
Yeah, used this one a lot, yeah.
This is a heavier option, oversized, drop shoulders, slightly cropped. Again, this is probably like our #1 shirt when people want, hey, I want a fashion forward shirt. I want to spend a little bit more money. This is the way to go. And
Yeah.
then you guys tag them on the inside. So private
Yep.
label tags. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then that's this year's design.
Yeah, the horse shirt.
Yeah.
We'll be dropping this in January most likely. But for now, just appreciate you again.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm happy, man. Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pursuit. It looks different for all of us, but underneath, it's the same. The same silence, the same struggle, the same choice. You wake up with it. You feel it when you're alone. And when it's hard to keep going, you do it anyway. It's not about the destination. It's about how you become in order to get there. And some of us found it in the gym, some on the road, some under the bar, or behind the back. But what we're really chasing is something internal. A version of ourselves that holds under pressure, earned through repetition. It's not loud. There's no celebration. Just small moments, repeated and earn. You don't have to get it. Not everyone does. But if you do, you know what it means to keep showing up. Hour after hour.
I'm here with my guy Brian. He's a sales director for Math Science. We've been working together for what, 2 years?
2 years and counting.
2 years and counting.
Let's go.
This is, I believe it's a hoodie.
Hoodie.
So Brian, why don't you tell the audience what makes this hoodie special?
It's just heavier. Right now, everyone's trying to get heavier, more premium options. So there's different price points. We looked at, hey, here's a regular hoodie. Here's one that's a little bit better, which you've used in the past.
Yeah.
And then this is a brand new one that it's like, hey, this is way more fashion forward.
Yeah.
It's heavier. It feels really good. And everyone that we've shown it to absolutely loves it.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks super modernized. And right now it's getting cold and cold in Chicago. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's definitely
So
the hoodie to go.
It's a little bit oversized. You can see like drop shoulders. There's no drawstrings, so it's more like urban, more fashion forward. Raglan sleeves, and then it's French terry on the inside.
Yeah.
So it just has really good weight to it. And let's look at the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, right here.
Same thing with the shirt. This is a heavier option. There's like a standard option. You've used other brands in the past. You've used this one a lot too.
Yeah, I've used this one a lot, yeah.
This is a heavier option, oversized, drop shoulders, slightly cropped. Again, this is probably like our #1 shirt when people want, hey, I want a fashion forward shirt. I want to spend a little bit more money. This is the way to go. And
Yeah.
then you guys tag them on the inside. So private
Yep.
label tags. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then that's this year's design.
Yeah, horse shirt.
Yeah.
We'll be dropping this in January most likely. But for now, just appreciate you again.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm happy, man. Thank
Let's
you.
go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pursuit. It looks different for all of us, but underneath, it's the same. The same silence, the same struggle, the same choice. You wake up with it. You feel it when you're alone. And when it's hard to keep going, you do it anyway. It's not about the destination. It's about who you become in order to get there. And some of us found in the gym, some on the road, some under the bar, or behind the bag. But what we're really chasing is something internal. A version of ourselves that holds under pressure, earned through repetition. It's not loud. There's no celebration. Just small moments, repeated and earned. You don't have to get it. Not everyone does. But if you do, you know what it means to keep showing up. Hour after hour, when no one is watching. And that's the pursuit.
Fear. Fear is rooted in doubt. Doubt in myself. Am I strong enough to endure this? Do I have the unshaken will to walk the path I've chosen? The moment I doubt my will, fear creeps in, trying to conquer me, to enslave me. Doubt must be slain, and with it, fear. My will must then be shaken. Doubtless. no fear.
I'm here with my guy Brian. He's a sales director for Mass Science. We've been working together for what, 2 years?
2 years and counting.
2 years and counting.
Let's go.
This is, I believe it's a hoodie.
Hoodie.
So Brian, why don't you tell the audience what makes this hoodie special?
It's just heavier. Right now, everyone's trying to get heavier, more premium options. So there's different price points. We looked at, hey, here's a regular hoodie. Here's one that's a little bit better, which you've used in the past.
Yeah.
And then this is a brand new one that it's like, hey, this is way more fashion forward.
Yeah.
It's heavier. It feels really good. And everyone that we've shown it to absolutely loves it.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
This looks super modernized. And right now it's getting cold and cold in Chicago. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's definitely
So
the hoodie to go.
It's a little bit oversized. You can see like drop shoulders. There's no drawstrings, so it's more like urban, more fashion forward. Raglan sleeves, and then it's French terry on the inside.
Yeah.
So it just has really good weight to it. And let's look at the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, right here.
Same thing with the shirt. This is a heavier option. There's like a standard option. You've used other brands in the past. You've used this one a lot too.
Yeah, I've used this one a lot, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Powerlifting America 5W Midwest Showdown. We are just getting ready to start the deadlift session, just about under 4 minutes till we start. But I mean, we have had exciting session of squats and bench presses. This primetime session has been nothing but full of excitement and full of just a roller coaster of emotions as we've seen these lifters hit PRs, miss lifts, and have unexpected just turn of events. I mean, let's talk about kind of what we've seen over the course of the session today.
Yeah, so starting with some of our women, Sarah Mercer is still leading the pack with her forecasted IPF points, kind of as expected. Training has been going insane, but a little bit unexpectedly, Nicolette has been leading with a monster of a subtotal, and by current IPF points, Nicolette is actually in the lead. So it kind of depends on if you want to look at that current or that forecasted value. You can see her there right now in the warm-up room, getting ready for deadlifts right now. They both are extremely good deadlifters, so there is a chance that Nicolette can pull through and surpass Sarah. It really just comes down to who makes all of their attempts. Sarah is currently sitting at 110.58 forecasted IPF points, with Nicolette Ziegler at 104.83. And we saw something a little bit unexpected in that men's session. Omar was coming in forecasted to be that #1 spot, but what did we see happen?
The men has just been a huge shakeup when it comes to the placings. We've had people come out of the woodworks, and people who we weren't even talking about in the preview shows come out and put up a performance that is in contention for the top 3 placing. Currently, right now, off of the forecasted placings, this is taking their best squat, their best bench, and their current opening deadlift. We have Omar sitting at 106.59. But trailing right behind, we have Ryan with a 104.625 GL point. And then we have Michael with 103, followed by Xavier with a 102. I mean, this is a tight race with 4 guys spread across 4 GL points. I mean, this is anyone's to lose now. I mean, this is Omar's to lose, but any one of these guys can sneak into that top 3, the top 1 position if people start missing. So this is going to be a very, very exciting deadlift session. 2 women in contention for that top place spot and 4 men. I mean, this list goes down to all the way to the top 10. This is going to be such an exciting battle.
Yeah, it really shows that when you think that 1% might come in and clear, there are a lot of underdogs that are coming up and pushing him out of their comfort zone. Once again, showing that women's top 10 currently, Sarah in that #1 spot. Really, it's just going to come down to who can get all of their deadlifts and what they're going to be. I am very excited to get started. We've got about 30 seconds until bar is called loaded. Cassandra is going to be starting us off today. And not to mention, we have a very interesting 66-kilo men's battle going on right now. Kevin, do you want to touch on Noah and Joey and how they're doing right now? We get a shot of Joey right here in the warm-up room right now.
Absolutely. So these men 66 are bringing in the fire. I mean, let's talk about Noah Pilley to begin with. He is currently leading this class with a 620-kilo forecasted total with a 97.038 GL score. But right behind him, 12.5 kilos behind, is Joey Ho with a current forecasted total of 607.5, and that puts him at a 95.082 GL score. But now let's take a look at the body weight of these two lifters. Both lifters weighed in at the exact same 65.5. So in order for these lifters to beat each other, they can't just match on the total, right? Because they weigh the exact same. So it'll come down to whoever achieves the highest total first. So if they total the same, whoever totals that weight first will be the winner. So in order for somebody to win, they have to total more than the other. We see a picture and a shot there of Noah Pili taking 220 kilos as one of his last final warm-ups.
Yeah, they're actually both opening up with the same opener of 240. Even though Noah is ahead, that doesn't mean he is guaranteed a win. Once again, they need to make all of their deadlift attempts, because if Noah misses, there is a good chance that Joey could pull ahead of him just by making all 3 deadlifts. Starting out our deadlifts with Cassandra, she is opening at 145.
And that is 3 white lights. And let's just talk about execution for Cassandra here, right? She has opened up the flight for all of the disciplines, but she is executing to perfection. She walked away with PRs both in the squat and the deadlift portion. And with the way that deadlift opener moved, she is also anticipating a PR for that discipline as well.
All right, Nicole is up next, 157.5 for her opener. Oh, so she got it up and locked it out. I think she dropped it before she got that down command. Unsure if that is something that was, maybe a reflex of lock it out and immediately drop it, or if maybe it was a strength issue at the top, if maybe she lost her balance a little bit and then dropped it. We'll see a little bit into maybe what was going on in her head by what her second deadlift choice will be. Hopefully this is something she can recover from. If she knows what she needs to fix, she can go up from that. And if not, she might choose to retake that for her second attempt. But currently we have Lakiana Jones opening up with 165 kilos. Makes easy work of that. A snappy lockout. And she gets 3 white lights.
And this is just 10 kilos under her all-time best. So she has made some significant improvements during the course of her training leading up to this competition.
All right, and now we have Tova. She had a little bit of a rocky time with bench, missing on a technical error on the second, which moved well, going up to her anticipated third attempt and then failing on strength. It's always a little bit hard to go through, but deadlifts, she hits a good looking first attempt. 3 white lights is a good lift. Gotta be a good feeling, you have to kind of forget about what's happened before and just move on to the next lift. Clear your head. Sarah Mercer is up next with 195 kilos as an opener.
I mean, we saw in her training, if you kept up with her, from what she was posting, she was putting up some insane numbers, consistently hitting over 200 kilos in the deadlift. Actually hit I think 200 kilo double, something like that. But she also hit 210 as a top weight. So she has made significant progress.
She forgot her deadlift socks, and she might actually time out this attempt.
So I don't think she'll make an attempt at this weight, since I really doubt you'd be able to get deadlift socks on in that time. But, I mean, we do have to let that clock run out. She's got about 15 seconds left. And honestly, I think with what is at stake here, sometimes it might just not be worth it to take that opening attempt if there's no feasible way to get it in time with proper just kind of cadence and technique. So she will be timing out of that attempt, and she'll be back for her second attempt. We'll see her for the first time then.
Right, yeah, so this is something that, in this case, there's a couple different strategies. You could either take 195 again for the second attempt, just kind of brush that off. You have to kind of adjust the plan, maybe make a bigger of a jump, or you could hopefully, hopefully that 195 moves well. And it looks like she's going with this where she's going to go up and take 205 for her second attempt. She's already inputted it. Nicolette hits a very clean opener of 225 kilos.
And I think in the case of Sarah, that might be the most the most ideal strategy, since because these are very, very fast spotters and loaders, you really don't have that much time in between attempts. So going up to 205 to your planned second attempt might be the better choice in order to give yourself the most amount of rest time in between your last warm-up to your, I guess, opener, which is her second attempt.
This could be something that she takes in the warm-up room, or this could be something that she just knows that she's fine making that jump up there.
And now, first one to come up in the 66-kilo battle is Noah Pilley, our 19-year-old from MPG Fitness, local here to the scene, and he has a huge crowd behind him, 240 kilos, opening attempt.
We're really going to pay attention to how this moves for Noah, because Joey, his competition, is going to take the same exact weight directly after him. Oh. Unfortunately, he dropped it before he got that down command. Not sure, once again.
I mean, it could have been grip. It could have been the momentum of the bar just kind of pushing him forward. I mean, let's take a look at this replay here. It almost looked very similar to Nicole's case, where that weight came up very smoothly, but then it's sort of like those knees kind of fell forward, and that weight just kind of got dumped right in front of them.
This is exactly what we're talking about. This could now put Joey in a better position, depending on how this moves, to push ahead of Noah. We'll see how his opening attempt of 240 moves. Just like it should, he gets that 240. We see that Noah decided to go up from his opening attempt. He's already put in 255 as a second attempt, and we'll see in just a minute what Joey decides to input.
And Joey closing in that gap. He is opting to go up 20 kilos to 260, and that is really narrowing that gap between the two, now only spread by a forecasted 7.5 kilos.
Joey hits that opening attempt of 250, wrapping up our first set of opening deadlifts. Back up to the top for seconds with Cassandra, 157.5. This is just 2.5 under her best ever deadlift in a meet. A little bit sticky of a lockout, but once she got that past that point, she pulled it through and got 3 white lights.
And that is a great call from the referees there. The bar wasn't supported on the thighs, nor did it go down. It just stalled, almost became motionless on the thighs, but it did not hitch or support on the thighs. So that is a very well executed call.
There is a very important, edit to that rule that says even if the thighs get in the way of the bar, it does not mean that the bar was supported on them. And so I think this might be a case where the bar got stuck on her thighs, but she did not support them on there. 3 white lights for her. Nicole, once again, lost her balance at the top and dropped it.
And
Looks
that,
like,
good lift, yeah.
yes, 3 white lights and a good lift for Nicole. Looks like it was a good call. Looks like she went with her planned second attempt of 170, so it's like that first attempt never even happened.
I almost wonder if the weight moved very fast that you just kind of lose control over the bar.
I have seen that happen with more than one people. You show up so well for deadlifts on the day that it moves a little bit faster than you expected. Throws you off. Akiana Jones, 177.5 for her second attempt.
She's looking to cover some ground after having missed her both third squat and third bench press attempt, taking a 12.5 kilo jump.
Three white lights is a good lift for her. All right, and now bar is loaded for Tova. 185 to match her best ever deadlift in a meet.
And unfortunately, that is a 2-to-1 no lift. He received a red card for the lockout. The lockout could mean two different things. It could either be the shoulders were not back or her knees were not fully locked out. So she will need to make that adjustment as she goes into her third attempt.
All right, up next is Sarah Mercer. She timed out her first attempt due to not having the proper equipment. You know, she needs those deadlift socks. A little bit ballsy of a move to go for that 205 without actually having her planned opener on the board yet. But she is a strong and experienced puller. So let's watch this second attempt of 205 kilos. Once again, she is a light 57 kilo lifter.
And that is very well executed by Sarah. She gets 3 white lights and is on the board. And with that lift, she is now at a 113 GL score.
I believe this is already a GL score PR for her.
Yes, she previously hit at the 5W Summer Classic a 112.2. So she already surpassed that, and she's looking to further exceed that.
And now Nicolette, 242.5 for her second attempt. This will increase her GL score from 104.8 to 108.6. She locks it out. And that is a good lift.
And in the case for Nicolette, the spread to catch up to Sarah Mercer is a little too wide, with them currently being separated by 6 GL points. And it looks like as she put in her last and final attempt, that'll put her at a 110 GL score. So she is surpassing that barrier of the 110 in and of its own.
I think Sarah might just be a little bit too far out of reach for her, especially with how well her deadlift has showed up with that second attempt. Q nails a 245 second attempt.
And a redemption here for Noah. Again, he missed his opening deadlift of 240, opted to go up 15 kilos, and let's see how he fares with 255 kilos. Again, remember, he is in a tough battle with Joey Ho, so he needs to hit this lift to continue staying in contention.
No issue there with dropping early, and he gets that with 3 white lights, but close behind him is Joey Ho, 260 kilos as his second attempt. The gap between them is only 7.5 kilos with Joey. If he gets this, he will have a 627.5 total, while Noah just secured a 635 total. Once again, very close in body weight, very close in total.
And that is a fast second attempt by Joey Ho. I mean, they both got room left in the tank, and it is a battle. The battle is on.
And I would say, I think Joey has a little bit more in him than Noah does right now. And with the fact that Joey is just behind Noah, it could be a very tight change in third deadlift attempts. It looks like they both have 272.5 loaded for their third deadlift attempt.
Absolutely. So Noah is currently sitting with a 635 kilo total. And if Joey is successful with this third, that'll put him at a 640 total. But however, Noah is forecasted for a 652.5 kilo total if he is successful with his 272.5. So it really comes down to whether or not they both can hit on who is the winner of today's session.
You know, like you said, if Noah were to not make his deadlift, but Joey does, Joey would be our 66 champion. So, like we've been saying this entire time, it's going to come down to that third deadlift. And we are starting off our final deadlifts for this flight. 165 kilos for Cassandra. This will be a deadlift meet PR for her. And she has had an amazing day so far. 8 for 8 lifts, hoping she can make it 9 for 9 with this final pull. Oh, a little bit too much, but she is smiling and happy, and I'm sure she has still had a good day so far. 8 for 9 lifts, only missing that last pull.
And one other thing to highlight for Cassandra, she's actually making a debut in the 63 kilo class, formerly competing in the 69. So she has broken PRs while also weighing less, which is a feat on its own.
And now we have Nicole, 182.5. A little bit of a rocky start to deadlifts, but hoping she can finish out strong with this final pull. Come on, Nicole. We'll have to see what the refs say on that.
Gets the down command. What did the refs say? 2-1.
That is a good lift.
And I honestly almost doubted her because I thought that might have been some up and down movement. But again, we're not sitting where the referees are sitting. So, I mean, what do we know, right?
All right. The energy is picking up for these third pulls. Lakiana is coming out to 185.
She already hit a PR of 2.5 kilos on her second attempt and is looking to break her all-time best by over 10 kilos if successful with this lift.
This will push her into a 422.5 total. Come on, Lakiana. Oh, got stuck there at the knees, but, you know, she's had a good day so far, making, you know, those first 2 attempts of each lift and hitting some PRs, even with just those. And now we have Tova. 192.5. She missed her second attempt with a soft lockout. It was a 2-to-1 no lift. She needs to pull this and lock everything. Pull those shoulders back.
Let's go, Tova.
Come on. Oh.
Just loses her balance and takes a step back. Unfortunately, that'll be a no lift. So bit of a rough performance going 4 for 9, which is really not what you want to see. But again, this is a very huge opportunity for learning on Tova's end.
All right. Sarah Mercer. She has already secured best overall female lifter, looking to up her GL score from 113.05 to 114.9 with a massive 212.5 kilo deadlift. Come on, Sarah. She locks it out. This would be a massive PR for her, which she just smashed. 212.5 is a good lift.
And I want to give you guys a very interesting stat here. So Sarah Mercer achieved a total of 465 kilos. And at the world level, this puts her top 20th in the world for the women's 57 kilo class. She was previously in below those rankings, competing as a 52, but with that 465, she is sitting in the top 20 globally in the world.
And she's sitting at that top 20 with a 53.35 body weight.
So plenty of room left to go there. And if she decides to compete as a 53, wow, just imagine that.
Nicolette, 252.5, looking to up that second place GL score. She locks it out. And that is a good lift. She had an amazing 9 for 9 day. The first lifter to secure that so far with 110.5 GL points. A massive 585 total. All right, like we were talking about before, we have a tight 66 kilo battle.
First up,
Noah dropped
Hilly.
his third attempt from 272.5 down to 262.5. Doing so would be only 2.5 over what Joey has inputted. This puts Joey in a position to up his deadlift if he gets this, but Noah has to pull this to defend his spot.
And Noah answers to Joey. 262.5, 3 white lights, and Noah is in the driver's seat. He is currently leading with a 642.5 kilo total. So this is going to force Joey's hand to maybe increase his total, his third attempt deadlift to try to beat Noah if that is even possible.
All right, we have Q coming out to the same weight, 262.5. Another very strong 66 kilo deadlifter. Box it out. And now, coming up, we have Joey Ho is up next. He currently has 272.5 as his third attempt.
So Joey Ho has conceded in the top placement. He will not be attempting to out-total Noah. He is focusing on his own game. And with this 600-pound pull, that'll not only give him that 600-pound deadlift, but this will actually put him above 100 GL points. This will inch him just past that at 100.168.
You know, this is something where if he wanted to chip Noah, he would have to up his deadlift by 5 kilos, because if he went up to 275, Noah would still win because they match total at the exact same body weight. Oh, and it looks like that was a decent call to not go up even further, but you have to take the chance to pull this much weight if it is here for you.
I mean, Noah was truly challenged in this weight. I mean, it wasn't an easy win. Joey Ho takes that second place spot with a 627.5 kilo total. And now to round out this last flight, we have Jerry Cruz, 606 on the bar, 275 kilos loaded for Jerry.
All right, the last deadlift of the flight. He pulls it back.
Locks
the
it out,
plates
but
are sliding. It's a good lift despite that.
I think that's probably one of the first times I've ever seen that, especially with a stiff bar. Those plates letting up off the deadlift.
Nevertheless, a good lift for
lift,
him.
yeah.
And we are going straight into deadlift openers for this second flight. Jacob Marcus starting us out at 225. Just to give you guys an update of where we were sitting at with these forecasted deadlift openers, Omar has forecasted 106.59. RJ has upped his deadlift opener and is now sitting at 106.48. This is just 0.1 GL point behind Omar. It is going to come down to who can hit all 3 deadlift attempts. And based on what we've been seeing, RJ might be able to pull through.
I mean, we have talked time and time again when it comes to execution and how important that is for these lifters. And the importance is no greater than what we see here. Really, it's going to come down to who can execute, who can go 3 for 3 on the deadlifts. The bench is behind you. The squats are behind you. We are now looking at the deadlift. So we are really going to see these guys duke it out and jockey for position. I'm so excited to see.
They are both insane pullers, but sometimes you have to know what is too greedy and what is seriously there. And this really does give RJ an advantage. Being the heavier weight, he will be pulling after Omar and can know exactly what he needs to pull for first if he would choose to do so. As you can see on the screen, Omar is 106.6 and RJ is 106.49. We have a little bit closer of a battle. Michael at third place with 103.2 and Xavier at 102.0. I'm sure that they are both trying to fight for that third place podium spot. Aaron Pittman has been having a day so far. The only lifter in this flight to go 6 for 6, and I'm sure that his execution will carry over in the deadlifts as it has been.
And as we see here, now that we concluded the women's session on the deadlifts, unfortunately that was a no lift for Aaron.
Too soon.
I'll circle back to these women top 10 right now. I mean, we have Sarah, Nicolette, and Lakiana, who are your podium finishers in the women's open session. Now that we have the women's side concluded, we are now waiting for these men as we round out the second flight of deadlifts.
Yeah, so it looks like with Aaron Pittman, we had a little bit of a bobble at that top that threw him off his balance and caused him to drop it a little bit early. It looks like he's chosen to still go up after that opening attempt. So, like we see before, we've seen these lifters come back from bubbles in this last flight. So, hopefully, this case will be true for Aaron. Michael killed his opening attempt of 280 kilos, pushing him into the 105.8 GO points with his inputted second attempt. And it looks like Michael could also be reaching for that first place spot, depending on how these polls lay out. Omar, our current leader of the men, opening with 290.
I'm going to be honest, it didn't look as good of an opener compared to some of these other gentlemen. I mean, that did look like a bit of work.
He did get one on the board, which I'm very happy to see, but we'll have to see how everyone else's are moving. He has secured that 106.5 GO points now after getting a deadlift on the board and has inputted 305 for his second attempt, which pushes him to 108.8. Three white lights for Patrick Owens. Up next is Xavier opening up with 300 kilos. This is a meet PR for him. His best is 297.5, and he is opening 2.5 over that. I am excited to see how this moves. He locks it out and holds on to it.
Very easy
300
attempt.
kilos is a good lift for him. All right, and now we have RJ. We believe he upped his opener to push even closer up to Omar's current IPF points. This will put him a tenth of a decimal place below him. 300 kilos, just 10 kilos below his best. We saw how Omar's moved, and we can kind of see how much we think he has in him after that. So let's watch how RJ's move. Try to see how much more he has in him for the day.
That looked easy for Ryan. 3 white lights.
All right, Derek Samuel is coming up. 310 for an opening attempt.
I mean, really showing out here in deadlift with those long arms. He's got those deadlift leverages.
He has been showing us after every single third attempt who he is,
He
how
can
loud
grind.
he can be. And I am expecting to see a grind from him on his third attempt. And just so you guys know, RJ inputted 325 for his second attempt, which puts him above Omar. So based on forecasted GL points, RJ is a number one ahead of Omar with 109.5. That was a good lift for Derek. It's again showing us just how strong he is today.
And now to our final deadlift opener of the day, Tyrell Williams, who has led everybody in just the sheer amount of weight he's been lifting. He squatted 800 pounds. He benched over 500 pounds, and he's deadlifting over 700 pounds.
This is a massive weight to be hitting as an opener.
And 3 white lights. And now as we move into the second attempts, and Jacob Marcus, our 93 kilo lifter, I'll highlight something about the 93 kilo class, which we weren't really talking about, but now looking at how these forecasted placings are shaping up, let's take a look at Michael's forecasted total and Xavier's forecasted total. They're currently only separated by a 10 kilo spread on the forecasted placements. So that is going to be an exciting battle as these lifters hit their second attempts and plan to hit a third. We're going to see how that podium shakes up.
I actually had a conversation with Xavier in the warm-up room. He said, I wasn't expecting Michael to show up exactly as strong as he did. So I think it's going to be a tight battle between them two.
Smooth attempt there by Jacob.
And that is a good lift. Kyle Johnson up next with 250 as a second attempt. Especially in that 93 class, Xavier has such an advantage as the bigger deadlifter. Michael put up a huge squat that now Xavier has to make up for with that deadlift, but he will be able to see exactly what Michael pulled for his third attempt and can load what he needs to pull for first place if that is something he's planning on doing. A slow but steady second attempt for Kyle. 250 is a good lift. Aaron Pittman did not lock out his first attempt of 252. Looked like it could have been a little bit of a balance or a grip issue there. Decided to go up to 265 for that second attempt.
So again, we've seen it time and time again of lifters missing a lift and still electing to go up in weight. So again, a bit of risk in the table here, but in the case of Primetime, you need these kilos to get yourself up there in the standings.
A lot better than his first attempt. It looked like that bar went up that entire time, and he gets 3 white lights.
Again, he is on the board, and as of now, everybody is in contention to just place a total and just see how these podium standings shape up. Our 93 kilo lifter up next, Michael Siren, taking a 20 kilo jump, surpassing the 300 kilo mark here. This will put him at a 807.5 kilo total.
This will also move him from 103.2 GL points up to 105.8. It's like a very clean second attempt, and he gets 3 white lights on that. Up next is Omar. He is currently in the lead by current GL points, but he is getting pushed out of that comfort zone by RJ and what he has loaded for his second attempt. He needs to make this move and lock in a third attempt after this. Oh. Fortunately, that didn't get off the floor for him. He is still in the lead with current GL points, is sitting at 106.59 and will be retaking that for his third attempt.
And again, that's really kind of putting Omar out of the picture if he has to retake that 305. And in Ryan's case, I mean, the ball is now in his court if he's successful with that weight.
No, this is giving RJ the chance to pull into first place just off of the second deadlift attempt. Xavier is up next with a 320 kilo deadlift. Like we were talking about, is pushing for that 93 kilo first place. With these large jumps that these guys are making on deadlift, can really come down to who makes that third pull.
Again, so much ground can be covered from just one attempt, but so much weight can also be lost by missing an attempt.
Sometimes you could even see it as Michael could have an advantage because he's going to load what he thinks is truly there for himself. And if that pushes Xavier out of his comfort zone, Xavier could miss by being a little bit too greedy and pulling for first.
And it looked like a good lift. However, that bar seemed to have been slipping from his hands. I mean, that bar was barely hanging on there for dear life. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much Xavier has left in the tank, but up next we have Ryan Jordan. And if Ryan is successful with this lift, he will be leading for the first time in the entire pack. I mean, after Omar missed his lift and is electing to retake 305, Ryan, if successful, will put his GL score at 109.59, surpassing both Omar and Michael.
No, not to repeat ourselves, but he has been executing very well. No one in this flight has gone 8 for 8 so far, but going, if he gets this, he will be 7 for 8, only missing that third bench attempt. And this is why he is able to pull through after not coming in nominated first. And that looks like a good attempt.
And again, word of the day is execution. We're seeing it here in Ryan Jordan. 325 is a good lift, and he is now leading the men's overall position with a 109.592 GL score with one attempt to go. A milestone lift for Derek here. Not only is he crossing over the 700-pound mark, but he is also cracking into the 800-kilo barrier.
Come on. We'll see what the refs say about that.
2-1, and yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with them. It didn't quite look like the bar was supported on his thighs or any hitching occurred, but the side referee saw differently as well as the chief referee. So that's a good lift for Derek Samuel, and Tyrell Williams is up next. 342.5 kilos, opened above 700 pounds, and is now taking us close to 750 pounds.
Right, this is the final second attempt of the night. Once again, we were talking about this with his bench, but how often are you seeing this much weight at a local level meet? It really is so often, like some of these high-level lifters are constantly doing high-level meets, but when you put together a meet that's so enticing with such a high level of production, it does attract this high elite level of athletes. All right, Tyrell got his second attempt, and now to look over where we currently stand.
So we just saw that Michael put in, he put in a 0 for his attempt, so he will not be coming out and taking a third deadlift. So he is conceding his end of the competition. He's currently in first, forecasted in second, so we'll see how that placing holds up as the session goes for the thirds.
And I have a prediction that Xavier currently has a 20-kilo jump loaded. I think he might drop that by 10 kilos, pull exactly what he needs to get first place, as if they match total, Xavier would win on body weight.
So right now we're seeing that Omar is currently forecasted at 108.8, and that opens up the door for lifters like, I mean, we already saw Ryan take that advantage point, but I mean, there's still, the door is kind of wide open for some of these lifters to kind of swing in there.
Yes, and Jacob Marcus started us off on a high note with a third deadlift attempt of 245, 3 white lights on that. Kyle Johnson coming out to 260. Let's keep up that streak of good third deadlift attempts. And you know, just like I said, Xavier dropped his third attempt by 10 kilos. He's taking his time. He has that entire minute to start his pull. Oh.
Just a little bit too much for him on the day, but still walks away with a 250 kilo deadlift. And now all of our deadlifts that are following are all above 600 pounds. So starting off, Aaron Pittman, 272.5.
$272.5 for Aaron Pittman is loaded. All right, come on, Aaron. Let's see this. He had great execution in that squat and bench, a little bit of a rocky start to deadlift, but he recovered with a jump to that second attempt. If he can make this third deadlift, it's almost like he went 9 for 9, making that jump to his second. Come on. I could have seen a dip in the bar. We'll see what the refs say.
And like we have seen
2 to
in
1.
previous, I mean, Aaron Pittman has really shown us what execution looks like. I mean, he essentially went 9 for 9 and walks away with an incredible 760 kilo total. That is pretty remarkable in the 105 kilo class.
All right, and now Omar failed his second attempt of 305. Unfortunately, could not get it off the ground, but he has one more attempt at it tonight. He has already secured that second place overall men's, and this would keep him in second place, but it's trying to get that. Oh.
Unfortunately, not enough left there. And yeah, like Katie mentioned, nobody's really threatening Omar's second place position. This was only, this lift would have only served to further extend his lead. So Omar currently sits with 106.595 GL score and a 722.5 kilo total in the 74 class.
And, you know, we saw Xavier drop his third deadlift by 10 kilos, but I wonder if he has anything going through his head now to try and pull for that second place, as his current deadlift would move him to 105.97 GL points. You know, this could already be extending himself.
I mean, the door's open. It's up to him to decide. He's got about one attempt left. But here in Patrick, we see him lock out 315 kilos. Let's see if the referees give it to him. 2 to 1, good lift. And this is actually a great milestone lift for Patrick, as he has surpassed the 100 GL score. So that is a really good feat for Patrick Owens, and seeing him progress meet after meet.
All right, and now we have Xavier. He did decide to drop to pull for that 93 champion class. He was going to match the same total as Michael, but he weighed in 0.2 kilos lighter than him, so he would get that body weight tie advantage. So
Xavier is looking to match Michael's total, and because Xavier weighed in lighter than Michael, he will win on body weight.
Yes, and this will also move him just barely above Michael from up to third place overall male, which Michael currently sits.
So this is for the 93 kilo championship and the podium finish in the Midwest Open Showdown Primetime. Let's see, Michael, or Xavier.
Come on, Xavier. Oh, missed it on grip.
And Michael is your 93 kilo champion and your podium third place finisher. And now, from what originally was Omar's show to lose, Omar conceded that loss, and now Ryan Jordan is further extending his lead and reaching 111.455 GL points. This is putting him past the 110 milestone and elite barrier, and this will be just 2.5 kilos shy of a 900 kilo total.
Now this secures him, like you said, best overall male, shortly behind Sarah, and this would actually push into the second overall open lifter, just behind Sarah and right above Nicolette, where she currently sits with 110. Come on, RJ. It's going. Oh. He had still secured best overall open male at the Midwest Open Showdown and is third overall lifter at the meet.
And what would have been similar to Sarah, Sarah cracked the top 20 globally for her weight class. That would have done the same for RJ if he was successful with that lift. That would have put him in the top 25 in the world in the 105 class.
All right. Derek is taking a stab at 340 kilos. He's had a good day so far with only a miss on his second attempt bench that he recovered from. Like we saw, he has been hitting some grinds of a third squat and third bench, and I want to see that again on his deadlift right now.
A true showman of the sport. 340, Derek Samuel, third and final attempt.
Oh.
And there was hope there in that deadlift, knowing that Derek Samuel could grind, but 340 was just a little bit too much there. And what a show of sportsmanship there for Derek, saluting and bowing to the crowd.
He still secured that 95.3 GL points with a massive 800 kilo flat total.
And now for our final deadlift of the session, Tyrell Williams will go to 355 kilo total. He already squatted over 800 pounds in the squats, benched over 500, and what is he deadlifting here? He is deadlifting over 760 pounds.
Right. The crowd is loud. Everyone is done lifting, and all eyes are on this deadlift right now.
Final lift of the session, final lift of the 2-day stretch, 4 sessions. Tyrell Williams will close out the 5W Midwest Showdown.
Come on.
It's up. It's up. Oh, what a valiant effort there for Tyrell, though.
Still walked away with 342.5 deadlift, the strongest pull of this session, and a massive 96 GL points and a 955 kilo total.
The totals we have witnessed this session are just otherworldly. I mean, from just talking about these lifters hitting lifts that are in contention at the world level. Let's talk about the men's session. So in the men's session, now that we finalized the conclusion of the primetime, we have Ryan Jordan, who won and took that first place spot with what would have been Omar's to lose. Ryan took over and hit a 109.59 GL score, followed by Omar within 106.8. And then we have Michael closing out that top 3 with 105.9 104.86. But not too far below him, we have Xavier with a 104.86, and then 2 additional lifters behind that who also cracked within the top 6 in the 100 GL scores. We have Noah Pilley and Patrick Owens, who all scored above a 100 IPF good lift score.
You know, having 100 GL score at a local meet is already insane, but to have 6 lifters break that barrier at a local level meet, this has truly been an amazing show. And not only do we have 6 lifters, this is just the men. We had a couple women hit that score as well today. We want to take a look at that top 10 women. Sarah Mercer, like we said, cleared that with 114 good lift points. She broke into that top 20 of the 57 class with her 465 kilo total, but she weighed only 53.3 kilos. She is normally a 52 lifter who her training has been going so insane because of that extra body weight she gained. She is someone to be afraid of, whether you are a 52 or a 57, or honestly even a 63 lifter if she decides to keep going up. And in second place, Nicolette Ziegler. We watched her put together a massive total of 585 kilos. She was, I want to say, our only lifter to go 9 for 9 today. And, you know, you can see that reflected by the massive total she had, 110 GL points. She is also someone to be feared. You know, those were kind of our 2 top lifters in that 110 GL points. But behind her, we had Lakiana Jones hit a 415 kilo total with 87.05 GL points. Cassandra hit 85.62. Nicole with 82.3. Tova with 81.01. And Brooke from today's morning session hit 79.09. This has been an amazing session to watch from start to finish.
And I just want to highlight one more point for Sarah Mercer. What an incredible performance she put up. And when I'm looking at the overall placings globally, if we factor into account that she weighed in at 53, she put up a GL score that is top 11 in the 57 kilo class globally. So not just from the total perspective, but from a GL points perspective, she is elite of the elite. I mean, she can be competing, representing Team USA. She can be competing against worlds at a world level. I mean, that is just remarkable. And then if we look at the totals in the 52 class, which was her former weight class, she put up a 465 kilo total, which would be in the top 3. She would have been top 3 in the world globally if she weighed in at 52 kilos.
That is insane. And, you know, I've said this so many times. This is a local meet. We are seeing this type of performance at a local meet at someone's home gym in Chicago right now. That is insane.
I mean, that's a historic performance. I mean, there's no way of going around that. I mean, there really are no words to put other than a global and historic performance here by Sarah Mercer. But, I mean, just to recap the competition, we had such an incredible lifting. We had 4 sessions, 2 collegiate sessions yesterday, and 2 sessions in the open and age division sessions today. And it has been such an incredible time commentating today. I mean, what for you has been your favorite part about this whole experience?
You know, I really think one of my favorite parts today has been incredible, but, you know, commentating the collegiate session yesterday, I've done quite a few times commentating, you know, collegiate nationals, and it was incredible to watch the team placings, you know, go back and forth with each final poll, which is something you don't really get to see at collegiate nationals. And this is something that I love. You know, everyone in their team is screaming, and by the time we get to the final poll, especially, you know, when we have a single platform meet like this, that final poll, the energy here is insane. Everyone is done lifting, everyone is watching it, and that has been the most incredible part of this to me.
Yeah, and I think for me, the highlight of the entire competition is the ability to find the depth in individual weight classes at a local meet. Normally, when people go to local meets, they think you're just competing between 1 to 2, 3 people in your weight class, but that's not the case here. Here we saw weight classes, especially in the collegiate session, that exceeded over the 10s as far as the depth perspective. So being able to compete against people and actually go head to head in your backyard almost, right, at the Midwest level region, and not have to travel to nationals to receive that experience. I think that really goes to show in the stepping stone these lifters are taking in competing at the Midwest Showdown, which will be a foundational block if they end up going to nationals and beyond.
Exactly. And, this meet, like this production level was only possible because of, Waylon, especially everyone at 5W who poured so much into the production level of this meet. All of the sponsors that went into this, Worker, 110, A7, Element, Unbroken.
I mean, there's just been so many community partners, so many sponsors that have pulled their resources together in being able to not just be vendors at this competition, but also be able to provide resources, be able to provide kits, just things that these athletes can benefit from the meet day experience. I mean, it really takes a village, from the referees, the spotters and loaders, the all the staff taking to basically do the ticketing, and of course the media crew behind the stage putting together the amazing live stream that you guys are watching.
Right, yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys had just as much fun watching as we did today commentating. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. My name is Katie DeGuider.
And I'm Kevin Serrano, and it has been such a pleasure commentating for you guys today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you all at the next competition.